And good evening and welcome. It's another night of Weslaco Panthers football, a K-West production. Tonight on the road, we are in Pharr, Texas at PSJA Stadium along with Clay Williams. I'm Scott Harrison, and tonight it is the PSJA North Raiders hosting the Weslaco Panthers. It is a non-district matchup. The Raiders, they're in 36A. Meanwhile, the district for the Weslaco Panthers, it is 31-6A. So far, the North Raiders, well, they are 1-1 on the season. They lost the second game of the season, a real heartbreaker to Harlingen South, I should say, 24-23 after a big win against PSJA Memorial in the opening game, 44-3. Meanwhile, for the Weslaco Panthers, they have really put it on in these opening two games and had a lot of yardage and done very, very well. And to talk more about it, here's my partner, Clay Williams.
Scott, fantastic to be up with you, broadcasting this game on a beautiful Thursday night. Hopefully the rain stays away, but right now the rain clouds in the distance making for one beautiful sunset here. And all the Weslaco fans who are facing towards the west are able to see it and yet not be too hot. It's kind of a nice night for football. PSJA North, their offense is going to give Weslaco their toughest test. This is the most rushing yards that any offense that they have faced will have put up. This offense puts over 300 rushing yards per game in their first two, and we'll be able to see what this Weslaco defense does against an offense that really likes to grind it out on the ground. They didn't really see that with Ed Couch-Elsa or with Nicky Rowe.
And Weslaco first week on the road defeated Nicky Rowe 28-7. Big home win last week against Ed Couch-Elsa 58-7. And the ball is kicked off. It is going to be out of bounds, so it's going to be the home team starting first down and 10.
Yeah, 1st and 10 from the 25-yard line after the nice kick there.
Martinez.
Yeah, George Martinez.
He's had a good kicking all around, has a 35-yard field goal to his credit, and also I believe he's connected on 13 of 14 extra points.
He certainly has been consistent.
All right, we are going to see a big-time quarterback out there tonight. Statistically, he has done very, very well. And we're talking about Ron Heel, Isaiah Ron Heel, and we should be ready to see some action, right? He can run and pass.
He can run and pass, but right now we've got a reverse, and that ends up being Isaac Gonzalez with a big gain, taking it all the way down to the 47-yard line.
So gain of 22, and he is just a freshman. He already is showing that he is quite a runner.
He's impressive, and like I said, this is going to be a test for this Weslaco defense. They played a passing team in Rowe. They played a team that really couldn't do much on offense in Ed Couch-Elsa. Now they're going up against a very, very strong rushing attack from the Raiders of PSJA North.
Gonzalez in his first two games, 118 yards and 115, so very consistent. Almost the same amount in both games, and this time up the middle and just a couple yards, if any at all.
Yeah, that one was stuffed big time by, it looks like, Jesse Ramos, the big defensive end, the senior for the Weslaco Panthers. Weslaco wearing their all-white unis tonight, white helmets, purple numbers on the front and the back other than that, and the purple W up on the helmet. Meanwhile, PSJA North wearing all black jerseys, pants, shoes, with their silver helmets, flying the PSJA North pirate flag with the N on it.
Couple yards for Gonzalez on that. 2nd down and 8. We have trips on the right side, and this time it is going to be a quarterback keeper, and it is going to pick up about 5 or 6 yards, and we know the quarterback can run the ball, and we've seen an example of that early.
Yeah, Isaiah Rangel is really the straw that stirs the drink of this PSJA North offense. They've got that almost a wishbone set up behind him, and he is the leading rusher. When was the last time you saw, A, a quarterback be your leading rusher, though Jacob Cavazos does that for Weslaco, but B, when was the last time you saw a quarterback wear the number 28, Scott?
Yeah. And Rangel, by the way, he is averaging 8.5 yards a carry. He has 273 yards this season on 31 carries. It was 3rd and 1, but there's a flag.
Yeah, it looked like a false start to me, but PSJA North is saying that Weslaco drew them off. We'll see what the referee says.
Offensive penalty.
Yeah, they'll say it's a false start. Looked like one to me. They were pointing fingers, but it looked to me like Weslaco stayed pretty steady on that one.
And, of course, we'll see how many false starts the home team has. And remember, Weslaco, their first game, we don't even want to talk too much about it, double digits, but they did improve last game.
Yeah, not as many false starts. Still enough to where Coach Michael Cavazos came off the field saying we still need got to get better. It's still too sloppy.
So it is going to be 3rd down and 8, ball at midfield. We have motion going left to right, and the quarterback will keep the ball again. Almost stopped in the backfield. He's going to spin down at about the 47-yard line in the territory of Weslaco, still a few yards short of the first down.
Oh, Seth Sanchez was so close to a tackle for a loss. He could taste it. But instead, Ronhell wiggles out of his grip and gets another 4 yards.
So it's going to be 3rd down and 2 after that particular play. Clock is running, approaching 9:30 remaining here in this opening quarter, and you can expect there is going to be some ball possession by the home team.
Right. On 4th and 2, I would have expected a punt, but looks to me like PSJ North is going to go for it.
All right, have to get down to the 44. They're at the 46. Quarterback back to pass, has a man open down at the 39-yard line, got about 7 yards, and a little flare pass, good for a first down.
Yeah, Rolando Coronado just went out to the flats. He knew exactly where he had to be for the first down, and Ron Held just a little pitch and catch. No problem there. You won't see a whole lot of passing from PSJ North, but that one very effective, and it gets the first down. Oh, Coach Salinas upset about something that's going on out there.
Last week, 5 of 11 for 66 yards and 1 touchdown. That was Ron Hell. First week, 7 out of 13 for 119 yards, but he did throw 3 touchdown passes that week. So again, the ball is kept by the quarterback, and he is going to move laterally. Cannot find any running room, and he is going to be thrown for a loss, and he's going to be knocked down at about the 42-yard line, loss of about 3. So great defensive play by Weslaco.
Yeah, Axel Camarena tracks him down. There were several Weslaco defenders who had a chance at Ron Hell. They definitely had him stopped, and Ron Hell doubles back, tries to go back across the field, but the Weslaco defense right there at the right time.
Axel already with an interception this season. Opening game, I believe. And now it is going to be 3rd down, actually 2nd down and 13, clock running, under 8:39 remaining here in the opening quarter. No score. Weslaco Panthers yet to see the football on offense. So a ball-consuming, time-consuming drive by the home team, and there is a whistle before the snap.
Yeah, that'll be timeout for PSJ North. Coach Marcus Kaufman wants to take his Raiders into a huddle and decide what they're going to do on 2nd and long.
And, of course, you know a little bit about Marcus Kaufman. He's been around for a while, by the way. People that don't know, Clay, longtime sports director at Channel 4 over in McAllen, Texas, and the whole Rio Grande Valley. You could watch the CBS affiliate. Talk a little bit about Kaufman's background.
Well, Kaufman, of course, most people here know him in the Rio Grande Valley as the offensive coordinator for McAllen Memorial under Bill Littleton for all those great years when they had the great running backs, but also his son, Marcus Kaufman's son, also played. Matthew Kaufman played quarterback for McAllen Memorial, and then went on to play quarterback for the Corps of Cadets and the U.S. Military Academy, the Black Knights of the Hudson. So his son played college football for Army, and soon after, Kaufman came here for his first head coaching job after doing some yeoman's work apprenticing under Bill Littleton just down the street at McAllen Memorial.
2nd down and 13, ball on the 42-yard line in Weslaco territory. And the Raiders have it. Pass right now, and it's going to be complete down to about the 38-yard line.
I think they're going to call it incomplete.
Yeah, incomplete. Yeah. At first it looked like it was complete, but pass no good.
Yeah, the Weslaco defense was right there, and it's a hard-hitting crew, and they cause the incomplete ball. You can see it right here. It goes in and then out. Yeah, nice hit right there. And that was Marco Noriega. Hey, first time we've called his name tonight. Won't be the last, I'm certain.
And also Roy Trevino helping out, too, on that play. So it is going to be 3rd down and 13, 8:21 remaining in this opening quarter. Glad to have you part of this K-West broadcast. And dropping back a couple steps is Ron Hell, and he gets the ball down to about the 24-yard line. It is going to be a complete pass. So on that particular play, we see a nice gain.
Yeah, and it's a great catch by Jonathan Garza. Went up for it and then got hit pretty hard by Roy Trevino, but comes down with it. And we'll be able to see the replay there. Yeah, Trevino, not sure if he knew where the ball was. He hit Jonathan Garza as he was coming down, made sure that he didn't go any further. But Garza, good hands on that play.
Pick up about 13 on the play. And Garza, one of the guys that has receptions this year for the home team. Again, they don't do a lot of passing, but try to make the most of it when they do throw passes out there. So it is going to be a 1st down and 10, and it's going to be a running play, and this time a pickup of just a couple.
Yeah, this time it was Isaac Gonzalez coming in motion, but Ronhell fakes to him and then takes it up for what's basically a delayed quarterback draw. And, you know, it works. He gets about 2 yards out of it, but that's not going to be enough against this Weslaco defense. Of course, right now, PSJA North doing much more on offense than Ed Couch-Elsa did last week.
2nd down and 8. By the way, Garza, that was his 2nd reception of the year, but his first one was for 13 yards in the opener, and it was for a touchdown. So again, we have 2nd down and 8, clock running, near 7 minutes remaining in the opening quarter. And here is a running play, and it looks like it is Gonzalez again picking up a few.
Absolutely, getting a better gain there. The PSJA North offensive line starting to get some action down there in the trenches against the defensive line of Weslaco.
So going to be 3rd down and 4 coming up. Ball at the 23-yard line. Have to get it inside the red zone, down to the 19 for the 1st down. What do you think so far? They've really had some good ball control here.
Yeah, PSJA North, this is what they want to do. They want to hold on to the ball. They want to run the clock. They want to grind the defense down into a fine powder. And right now, keeping Weslaco's defense on the field for quite a long time.
Here is a handoff again, and this time met at the line of scrimmage, maybe thrown back a yard is Gonzalez. But you were talking about ball control. It's already past the midway point of the 1st quarter. Yeah,
and that was a big play by the big man right there. That was Jesse Ramos on the tackle there, also being helped out by Jake Espinoza. Both of those guys sniffed that one out and were right in the hole to meet Gonzalez before he could get any yardage.
And Ramos, I believe, had 3.5 sacks last year. So far, 9 tackles this season. And again, a lot of big men on that line, and that is going to be one of the strong points this year for the Weslaco Panthers. We've seen how they've really shut down teams so far. Only one touchdown allowed this season. So this time it's going to be a pass, and the ball is aimed toward the 3-yard line. It looks like it was Arturo Beltran. He's a big offensive weapon, and that was the first time I think on this drive he really was a target, but incomplete pass.
Yeah, incomplete pass, and now the ball goes over on downs. That was 4th and 5, so Weslaco takes over and gets their first offensive play of the game. It might as well have been a kick because they'll start just shy of the 25, just as they would if there had been a kickoff going out of the back of the end zone.
Beltran has 4 receptions in each of the 2 games, each for 60 yards. So he's 4 for 60 in both games. The one game he had a touchdown.
That would have been a big one there, and it would have been for a 1st down, but instead Weslaco takes over.
Jacob Cavazos, he is going to hand off the ball to start the game, and it's going to be a gain to about the 29-yard line. Pickup of about 4 on that play.
Yeah, Peyton Knob got his knob knocked off there. He lost his helmet. He'll have to come back off the field. Doesn't look like he's any the worse for wear, but if your helmet comes off, you come off as well.
You know, he looks like he's gained a little weight in the offseason. He really looks like a strong guy. I watched him on the post-game show last week with Carlos Robledo and Mike Gonzalez, and it looks like he has really put on some muscle. We're talking about Knob, not Carlos or Mike. All right, another run this time down to about the 32-yard line, short gain of just a couple.
Yeah, Jesse Hernandez in there at running back as Knob now comes back on with his helmet firmly secured.
And remember, Hernandez last week late in the game had an 82-yard run for a score.
Certainly did. Nice way to bust out for your first action of the 2018 season.
So it is going to be 3rd down and 3. Clock running, under 4:40 remaining in the opening quarter. No score. Good long drive, but no points put on the board by the home team. And this time it's going to be a sweep over the left side by Jacob Canassos, and he's going to get the 1st down to the 39. Had to get to about the 36, got an extra 3.
Yeah, he was stringing it out, coming around the left, and then all of a sudden saw a seam in the defense, cuts it back upfield, and got an extra 4 or 5 yards just because of his vision. That's the great thing Jacob Cavazos has as a quarterback, is vision. He's able to use that vision and his patience.
And this time, going to be another running play. It is going to pick up of about 4 yards. Looks like Peyton Knob again.
Actually, that was Cavazos this time,
okay.
after faking to Knob. Yeah, Cavazos saying, hey, if you're not going to stop me and I'm going to get good yards, then why not just do it again? That time basically what ended up being a delayed quarterback draw, and 4 good yards for Jacob Cavazos.
All right, so again, some ball control this time by the visitors. Long pass by Cavazos, and he is trying to find Delvin Dana, and Dana can't quite get it.
Yeah, Devin Dana just can't quite catch up with that one. Cavazos put it right in the middle of the field, and it looked like maybe Dana was taking a little bit of a less sharp angle to it.
Dana had 6 catches in the first game, and he's had a touchdown reception each game, so why don't we start out early, right? Get that over for him, get his touchdown reception. So we are going to have 3rd down and 6 coming up, 3:46 remaining here in the opening quarter. No score in far. And this time, Cavazos is tripped up, ankle tackle in the backfield.
Yeah, big sack there from Seven Sanchez. He's probably the defensive leader on this team.
Yeah, he really is.
Just a junior, but coming up huge right there and forcing Weslaco to punt on 4th and 10. That was a huge play by Sanchez.
It was. And again, it'll be Jacob Cavazos punting the ball. By the way, Sanchez is the leading tackler, 23 solo, 31 assisted, 54 total, at least 55 now. All right, punt coming up. It'll be from about the 30-yard line. Jacob Cavazos is a good punter.
Yeah, rugby-style punter. Look as he runs and kicks it off the side of his foot. That's great. It's got a great end-over-end motion that is really tricky for receivers, for kick returners, punt returners, I should say. And basically now that's pretty good field position for Weslaco. They put PSJA North down in their own 17-yard line, looks like.
And, of course, Cavazos, we talked about running the ball. First game, 17 carries for 72 yards, 1 touchdown. And in the second game, I'll tell you what, he came on and also, I believe, got some touchdowns. We'll double-check this in just a moment, but he has had a pretty good game running, or pretty good time running the ball so far this season. I believe his total overall rushing. In game 2, he had 10 carries for 85 yards and 1 touchdown. So we've got that total this year for Jacob Cavazos running the ball. 27 carries, 157 yards, 2 touchdowns.
It's a reverse again, just like their first play, but this time it's Seth Sanchez sniffing it out. Oh, got a flag on the play afterwards, but Seth Sanchez was not going to be fooled by that reverse. Stayed where he needed to be and really got a good tackle for a loss there.
Well, Sanchez, we've talked about him since game 1. Personal foul, face mask.
Seth Sanchez gets called with a face mask. He was right there. It's too bad. It's obviously it was inadvertent, and he was right in the exact right place where he needed to be, but as he was taking him down, must have gotten a hold of the old plastic face wear.
All right, so it's going to be 1st down and 10. Moving toward the north end zone where the big screen, the big scoreboard is, will be the Raiders, and they'll have the 1st and 10 at their own 32-yard line. Calling out the plays. We have slots on each side, one back in the backfield, and pass this time is going to be to the right, and it's going to go to the 35-yard line. That is going to be all, and it is Israel Olivares with the reception.
Yeah, and a great tackle by Axel Camarena, but they gave him a lot of room. They gave, so
right.
Olivares was wide open there in the right flats.
Well, you know what? This year he has a 46-yard reception for a touchdown. I don't know if that's part of the reason. So we are going to have now 2nd down and 6 coming up. Fast quarter already, almost 2 minutes remaining.
Yeah, that's what happens with both of these teams and their offenses. They both love to control the clock and wind it down.
And here's the snap. And Rangel has the ball. He's going to go to his right. He's going to get to the 35-yard line. Basically just ran laterally for no gain.
What an incredible blocking job. I'd like to point out, as a former lineman myself, Adrian Basildua and Juan Espinoza, number 74 and 79 for the PSJA North line. They kept that from being a tackle for a loss and instead maybe a 1-2 yard gain.
Yeah, I'll give him a yard.
Not much, but look at the blocking that's being done by the big men on the line there. Raiders' offensive line pretty darn stout.
So we'll call it 3rd down and 5. Ball at the 37-yard line. Got to get it to the 42-yard line for the 1st down. Spread formation, dropping back quickly is the pass. Ooh. It is intended right there for, Beltran. Beltran around the 45-yard line, but close to an interception, right?
Yeah, exactly, because Rangel threw it behind Beltran. He had to reach back for it. And, starting to kick himself there is Roy Trevino, because he knows if he'd been a little quicker with his hands, he would have had an interception and a lot of green between him and the end zone.
He's quite an athlete. We see him do great on defense, but occasionally he runs the ball.
Absolutely. Coach Coach Salinas believes get your best guys out there on the field as much as possible.
It's going to be 4th down and 5, and we're going to have a punt, but the punter, he does not get a good snap, and he fumbles around with it, and finally he is brought down at his own 25-yard line. First big play of the game on defense.
Yeah, a huge huge play on special teams there, as the bad snap, the punter unable to retrieve it. Trey Elizondo, I believe, is the punter, and give some props to Elizondo. The young man could have tried to punt it in traffic, but instead realized that could have been an instant touchdown. Better to just stay on the ball and let Weslaco take over there. And now Weslaco with fantastic field position already on the PSJA North 25.
All right, so we'll see what Jacob Cavazos can do here. A lot of big plays on offense this year so far for Weslaco.
What Weslaco has done this year is taken advantage of the situations given to them, and right now they've got a great situation.
They do, and Cavazos, he is going to hand it off to Kanab. He's going to run around the right side. He's going to get inside the 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown! So there he goes. He takes that ball and goes 25 yards on the first play from scrimmage for a score.
Peyton Kanab doing a fantastic job. First off, following his blockers when he's behind the line, making sure he's got the outside edge. Once he gets that edge, then he just turns on the jets, and he would not be denied. Broke about 2 or 3 tackles on his way to the end zone, and just like that, the Weslaco Panthers have a 7-0 lead.
And of course, you want to capitalize.
6-0, I should
that's
say.
Fine. Well, this guy's almost automatic coming
That's
out,
true.
right? George Martinez, we estimate, I think he's 13 out of 14 so far this year. 35-yard field goal, and that one is good too. So he adds to his total, and he is doing a good job. And I'll tell you what, Kanab, he's been a steady runner. In game 1, he had 10 carries for 41 yards. Game 2, 13 carries for 49 yards. But already, I guess 1 carry for 25 yards on that series, and he had some yards in the opening series. So he'll probably surpass what he's had, maybe both games total in this game.
Yeah, Peyton Kanab doing such a fantastic job. Of course, one of Weslaco's top running backs has not been able to play yet this season in Jeremy Coronado, and right now it looks like we've got a Weslaco player down on the field right about the 4-yard line. And
while we have this timeout, while we try to find out who it is, talk a little bit about Coach Salinas, Michael Salinas, for maybe some of the fans tuning in that aren't aware exactly of what he's done here at Weslaco or in the past.
Well, taking over at Weslaco last year, it was a tough year for him to come in, taking over a team that had run a pretty archaic offense, we'll call the slot T, that is basically just run, and run some more, that had been running that offense for the last 12 years. And Salinas believes in more of a pro-style offense. And it looks like, there we go, the young man, it's Marco Noriega. Actually in there on special teams on the kick. And this Weslaco defense cannot afford to lose him.
No, Noriega so far has a total of 14 tackles, and he has been out there really getting after it. I believe he is the top tackler on the team so far, 10 of them solo. So again, like you said, very valuable to the defense.
He's walking off pretty swiftly, but he does have his arms around both of the trainers who have come out. Michael Salinas, the head coach, gives him a pat on the head as Noriega comes off. It doesn't look like he's maybe just lost his breath, maybe.
Let's hope so.
He's not favoring any leg, any knee, anything like that. He's going to head to the trainer's table, and we hope that he's back on. The Weslaco defense definitely needs him.
Of course, Salinas, getting back to him, a longtime coach at Vela, about 4 years, right, started the program.
Yeah, exactly. 5 years at Vela. He was the very first coach in the history of the program. When they started the school, he was the first head coach. Started from 0-10 and got up to 10-0 by his 4th year there. So that's about as a 180-degree turnabout as you can possibly get.
And kickoff coming up. It is going to be Martinez kicking it down to about the 3-yard line. That's where the back has it, and he is going to get up to about the 20-yard line, and that is going to be it on that run. Looks like it was Marco Salinas.
Yeah, an incredible open field tackle by Dante Castillo on special teams. He made a great tackle to make sure that PSJA North did not improve their field position in any way, shape, or form. That's great, putting them back at their own 20. When you see how long these guys can keep the ball, that's an important thing.
Now, they moved the ball last time. They had it from the 25 to the 19 of Weslaco before it was turned over on downs. So once again,
that fumble.
Has it fumbled, and
it fumble again.
Fumbled again. It's going to be down at about the 5-yard line. We'll figure out who finally has possession.
It's Seth Sanchez.
Weslaco.
It's Seth Sanchez coming up with it. Fantastic play. I think Seth Sanchez got the strip in the first place. It was Isaac Gonzalez hitting the line. Seth Sanchez hitting Isaac Gonzalez, taking the ball away. Sanchez just came up with it, got a few yards. Then he coughed it up, but then was able to fall on his own fumble. Big play there for Seth Sanchez and Weslaco. And once again, the situation, Weslaco takes advantage of it.
Last turnover, first play from scrimmage. Peyton Knab goes 25 yards for the touchdown. Let's see if Weslaco can capitalize on the second turnover of the game on their first play of scrimmage on this series. We have a couple of wideouts on the left side, one on the right, back in the backfield. Jacob Cavazos, go ahead.
Yeah, it looks like Devin Denna and Jaden Cavazos over on this side.
All right, Cavazos has it. Looks like it was kind of a bad snap. He has it, and he'll fall down at the 8-yard line. So not much going there. Actually, a loss of a few on the play. Going to be 2nd and goal to go.
Yeah, you can't expect all your offensive plays to be gems. I see Marco Noriega running on the sidelines now. Looks like he's looking good, ready to come back in, doing a little high stepping. Yeah, looks good, and that's a good news for the Weslaco defense.
Under a minute remaining here in the opening quarter, Weslaco leads at 7-0. So Cavazos, one back in the backfield, and he's going to give it to his back, Peyton Knab, and he'll fall forward to the 5-yard line. He picks up 2 on that play.
Yeah, short 2. PSJA North's defense ready for it up the middle. I think if Weslaco wants to get it in the end zone, they're either going to have to pass it or take it around the side.
So it's going to be 3rd down. 3rd and goal to go as we are in the final seconds of this quarter, opening quarter. In motion is Jaden Cavazos to the right. Jacob has it. He looks toward Jaden, but he'll throw it in the end zone, and he finds his receiver open for the touchdown.
Yeah, that's Rodney Garza.
So Garza gets his first touchdown of the season.
Yeah, first touchdown of the season. Let me make sure. Nope, sorry, my eyes. That's Diego Martinez.
Diego Martinez.
Thought I saw a 6, but it's a 5.
No problem
for Diego.
It's still points.
That's right.
So Diego Martinez does the job and gets the touchdown, and this one is going to be a 5-yarder. So already 2 scores after turnovers for Weslaco. That's been the key to the game. Raiders turn it over. Weslaco capitalizes. Extra point attempt is up and good by George Martinez. And with 11.6 seconds remaining in the opening quarter, it is a 14-0 lead for Weslaco over PSJA North. So didn't expect to see these turnovers so early. Again, we are in the 3rd game, but things happen. And again, Weslaco's defense, how strong it is, they cause the turnovers.
Yeah, absolutely they cause the turnovers. And when you think about how young a team PSJ North is, yeah, Isaac Gonzalez, fumbled the ball, but he's just a freshman.
Yeah, even though he's got all those big yards, even though he's gained over 100 yards in both games so far, he's still a freshman.
Yeah, still a freshman. You got to give him a break there, but, you cannot lose the turnover battle. Marcus Kaufman knows that more than most.
Right. And by the way, I think for Martinez, that's his first touchdown of the season. First game, he had 1 catch for 21 yards. Second game, 2 catches for 17 yards. So he had 3 catches for 38 yards. Now he has 4 catches for 43 yards and a touchdown.
Not bad. That's the way you want to get that season to go. Big. That's another receiver for Weslaco.
You don't think about him all the time,
yeah,
but he's just there.
Yeah,
and he contributes.
You think about all these receivers: Devin Denna, Jaden Cavazos, Diego Martinez. They're all doing such great things.
Yeah. And ball that time will roll out of the end zone, so it's going to be 1st and 10.
Yeah, but there's a flag back at about the 34-yard line. Looks like some extracurricular activity back there with Gabriel Gonzalez and one of the PSJA North players.
That's one thing coaches don't like, right? They like that discipline.
They do like the discipline, but it's looking to me the coaches aren't getting on him too bad. See, okay.
Holding?
Yeah.
All right. Half the distance to the goal. Or 10-yard, I guess. The official changed it.
And I'm pretty sure that holding was on Gabriel, and it was far away from the ball. Gabriel could have gotten really upset and gone after him, but second guy in always gets called. So it was smart by Gabriel not to retaliate any, and instead PSJ North loses a big chunk of their yardage.
And the ball now is back at the 15-yard line. 1st and 10 right now for PSJA North. Could be the final play of the opening quarter. And this time it looks like a fumble again.
Yeah, and it's again Weslaco ball.
Wow.
That was a shovel pass that was not really well thought out. It was supposed to go to Arturo Beltran, who was coming around from the left side. Instead, Weslaco has a chance to score again before the first quarter is out.
Yeah, we have 6.6 seconds. Remember, on the last series, it took a couple plays before they scored after the turnover, but on the opening, well, second series actually for Weslaco, but the opening time they've got a turnover, they scored on the very first play when Peyton Kanab went 25 yards.
So, folks from Medcal-Chelsea or McAllen Rowe, if you're listening, don't feel bad. Weslaco does this to everybody, apparently.
Incomplete pass.
Okay. See, that was what I was wondering, because it was definitely a shovel pass. What I thought had happened was that the pass had been received and then stripped. But what the referee is saying is that the pass was never completed, and therefore it's just an incomplete pass. The referee's absolutely right. That was definitely a shovel pass. So it was just a matter of whether it was caught and stripped or if it was never completed at all. They're much closer to it. They say that it was never completed, and so it will stay PSJ North ball.
2nd down and 10. They have it at their own 15-yard line. They may just as well hope this quarter gets over very quick. It's been a rough first quarter.
Yeah, a rough one for the homestanding men in black.
Yeah. And both teams, a lot of fans have come out tonight for a Thursday night. I know there's some threatening weather in the Gulf. And, of course, our prayers go out to all the people in the Carolinas being affected by Hurricane Florence.
Yeah, and even before the storm in the Gulf gets here, we've been getting lots of rain, especially here in Hidalgo County. And this ground is really saturated. We don't want any more to fall right now. I drove through about a foot and a half of water the other night in Edinburgh 2 nights ago. It got pretty nasty.
And, of course, a lot of high school games were moved from Friday to tonight, and as the night goes on, Clay Williams will give us some scores. So maybe the final play this time of the quarter, we'll see. And it is going to be a quarterback keeper, going to go down to about the 20-yard line, pickup of 5, and that is going to be all for Rangel. And we have gone through 1 quarter of play, and it is the Panthers of Weslaco leading the Raiders of PSJA North 14-0. And Clay, a beautiful facility. Talk about this facility, and a lot of teams play here.
Yeah, absolutely. There are 4 teams in the PSJA, the Far San Juan Alamo Independent School District, 4 different high schools. The oldest, of course, the originals, PSJA, the Bears. There is a nice marker down in the north end zone that talks about the fact that in 1962 and 63, the PSJ Bears went to the state championship game, back-to-back years. That is not something that's easy. But the second oldest team is right here in black. That would be PSJA North. And then PSJ Memorial, the Wolverines, also play here. And the newest school in the PSJ ISD system, PSJ Southwest, the Javelinas, also playing here. But it's a fantastic stadium. What I really love about it, and what I loved whenever I was out there, shooting video every night, was the lighting. Everything looks great under these lights. And now with the sun starting to set, it's really gonna show off, I think.
And we're in Far, but we're only a couple blocks from San Juan. And, of course, the A in PSJ, it's what? Far, San Juan, and Alamo.
Exactly.
Okay. So there you have it. It is going to be 3rd down and 5 this time, moving toward the north end zone. Is going to be the Red Raiders, or actually the Raiders. There is a Red Raiders. That's Tech, right? But this time the ball's fumbled again. Quarterback falls on it. Rangel falls on it, but he's back at about his 8-yard line. So a big loss on that play of about 12 yards.
Yeah, Rangel was in the shotgun. They were looking for a big passing down as it was 3rd and long. Instead, they end up with a bad snap that Rangel just has to fall on. And, Weslaco's making all this happen with their defensive line pressure and their intimidation. Marco Noriega back on the field. Just having him back out there has got to be uplifting for the Panthers and a little bit intimidating for the Raiders.
So punt will come off at about the goal line, and its kick is going to come down and bounce at about the 45-yard line in Raiders territory. And with it is Denna, and Denna's going to get down to about the 30, maybe to the 29, and finally brought down. But a nice little return there of what, over a dozen yards.
Yeah, absolutely. Denna ended up with it at about the 47-yard line, taking it down about to the looks like the 29. So about an 18-yard return for Denna, but we've got players down on one knee. Looks like there might be an injury on the field.
And this year we've seen a lot of guys nicked up for Weslaco at times, but fortunately they've been able to tape them up and bring them back in. So you got to give cheers and you got to give heads up to the training staff.
Yeah, and that's I believe that's Roy Trevino right now, who they've got sitting up right now.
Well, again, a top player. Don't want to see anything happen to any player. And Trevino, of course, very valuable to the team.
Yeah, he was back in the backfield. He was right next to, it was Trevino and Denna that were back receiving that punt. And Trevino threw some really good blocks on that Denna return. Looks like that last one might have shaken him up a little bit. But he's walking fine. Trainers are talking to him. They're not even taking him back to the training table. So,
and of course,
so far so good.
It wasn't a turnover, but still it was a muff. And that winds up giving good field position to Weslaco. So technically it's not going to be in the stat book should they score that they scored because of a turnover, but still it was because of a play that lost a lot of yardage because of a muff play on a attempted pass.
Absolutely.
So this time it's going to be an end around going toward about the 26-yard line, a short gain of about 3.
Yeah, Seven Sanchez on the tackle, but there's a flag on the play as he went out of bounds, as Knaub went out of bounds. We'll see what the call is from the head referee. Now he wants to talk to his lineman for a second. It wouldn't surprise me if it was late. Nope.
Holding. Offensive holding. So it'll be a 10-yard penalty.
All right, so it'll be instead of 1st and 10, it's 1st and 20.
Well, I'll tell you what.
If you're going to hold, Scott, get more yards than that. That's my thing.
Well, you're an offensive lineman, right?
That's right.
So you were a center, right? So.
I sure was.
That has to be a tough position to play. I mean, you can make so many mistakes trying to snap that ball.
Yeah, there's definitely some pressure, that's for certain.
Okay, this time around the right side, we see the ball being run, and it's going to get down to about the 28-yard line, and that's Peyton Knaub.
Yeah, and Knaub getting some big yards, and he wouldn't have gotten those last 5 yards if it hadn't been for Frederick Salazar. You just talked about how I was a center. Salazar is the Weslaco center, and watch him as he's leading Knaub here and gets the big, got the big block there on number 31, Michael Lopez. That set him free for the last 5 yards of that gain.
Knaub got about 8 on that play, so it's going to be 2nd down and 9. This time a passing play over to the right, and the ball will go down to about the 22-yard line, about 6 or 7 yards, still a few yards short of the 1st down. And it looked like it was Jay Granados on the reception.
Yeah, Jay Granados on the reception. Seven Sanchez on the, on the tackle. He took him out of bounds, but then he tackled him out of bounds, but there's no foul called on the play.
So it's going to be 3rd down and 3. Ball at the 22-yard line. Again, they'll have to get in the red zone down to the 19 to get the 1st down.
They're pulling out all the stops, doing a few different plays this drive, not just going with the
and this time, Jacob Cavazos tries to go to the right side, but Sanchez meets him, and he is going to be down at about the 30-yard line, loss of 8 on that
That's
play.
What I call 7-on-7 crime there, because it's number 7, Sanchez taking down number 7, Jacob Cavazos, as we see it here. Sanchez on a safety blitz, and Cavazos had no chance whatsoever.
By the way, Jacob Cavazos had a nice article about him in the Monitor this week, big picture and everything, and he said playing 7-on-7 football this summer helped him a lot get where he is now. So we're talking a lot about 7s here. No, not gambling, though.
Lucky 7s.
Yeah. All right.
He's going deep.
Cavasso gets hit as he gets the ball off.
Yeah.
And there is going to be pass interference.
They're going to call it on Sanchez.
Yeah, Sanchez guarding Devin Denna.
Yeah, that's a tough call to make because Devin Denna had to, he pulled up, and that's when his feet got tangled up with Seven Sanchez. But Sanchez, you can't cover that close, and you got to look back for the ball.
And I'll tell you what, Jacob Cavazos, as he got that ball off, he was, I don't know, hit hard. That's a nice way to put it. I know, I don't know, just pushed down into the ground, whatever you want to say. But he had the composure to stay there and get the ball off and not feel the pressure. So give him credit. That's a mature move.
Yeah, now it's first down.
Right. So the ball is going to be kept by Jacob Cavazos, and he is going to spin his way down to the 7-yard line. So he picked up about 3 on that play.
Yeah, and got stood up and hit hard by Noah Gonzalez there at the end, but not before. He got some good yardage.
Yeah, actually a little more than that. We'll see.
It looks like about 8 yards.
Yeah, about 8 yards. Okay. So 2nd down and 2. Go ahead.
It's taken down really hard right there, but comes up none the worse for wear.
So it's going to be 2nd down and 2 yards to go. Ball on the 6-yard line. It'll be handed off once again, and it's going to be Peyton Knab lucky if he gets back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, nothing doing on that one. The PSJ North defensive line looks like being led by numbers 90 and 99 there, Aaron Alvarez and Albert Elizondo. They were right there, and they made sure that Knab did not get anywhere.
Well, Alvarez is quite a good player. And again, we'll see what happens on this 3rd and short. And with the ball scrambling right now is the quarterback rolling right, tries to find his receiver, and Cavasso gets it off.
Incomplete.
Incomplete.
Yeah, Granados got his mitts on it, but didn't come up with it before he was taken out of bounds.
So we'll have 4th down and 2 to go. Ball on the 6-yard line. What do? You go for it, or you go for the field goal?
You're up 14-0. Why not give it to George Martinez? You already know he can make it from this distance.
Made a 35-yarder last game.
But it looks like they're going to go for it.
All right.
I think Coach Salinas maybe wants to try and put this game a little further out of reach. In his estimation, and in most coaches' estimation, 6 is always better than 3, but he'll take a timeout to think about it.
You were talking about Alvarez, right, a moment ago?
Yes.
I was looking at his stats. If I read it correctly, he has 7 sacks already this year.
Wow.
If that's correct. So 18 tackles, 7 of them sacks.
Yeah, Aaron Alvarez is only a junior as well, so he's only going to get bigger. That guy is pretty powerful already on the defensive line for the Raiders. They're talking it over. I know Coach Salinas wants to put it away. I know 6 is always better than 3, but you could get stopped right at the line and end up with nothing. And 3 is always better than nothing. And we've got the coaches right next to us. Wonder what they're talking about.
We should knock on the window and see if they'll give us a sign. Another way to look at it, everything you're saying is right, but another way to look at it, maybe you just trust your defense. It's so good this year that they're backed up there, and maybe if you can get them to go 3 and out, you get a punt and you get the ball back at the 50 and get another short field for the offense.
There's a lot to be said for that too, Scott. This defense has only let up 2 touchdowns all year, and both of those touchdowns were in garbage time when the outcome was no longer in doubt, and holding the Raiders to 0 points tonight as well. Looks like they're going to go for it.
All right, again, 4th down and 2, ball at the 6-yard line. And the ball is going to go back to Jacob Cavazos. He's going to sweep the right side. He's at the 5. He's at the 4. It looks like he got the first down. What do you say?
I don't know. I think he might be a little short.
All right, we'll see where they mark it. Marking is going to be very important on this play.
No, they're going to give it to him. They're going to say 1st and goal. They're going to say he got there.
Just barely, but 1st and goal from the 4.
Boy, that was a risky one, but Cavazos got the extra effort and got the extra couple of inches he needed.
All right. Again, under 8 minutes remaining here in the half. Jacob Cavazos, such a good job. This time I'll hand it off to Peyton Knab, and Knab is going to go around the right side, and he goes the 4 yards for the score. So he gets his 2nd touchdown of the game, and the lead has now increased to 20-0 for the visitors.
Peyton Knab did not get touched on his way in. It's just a simple slant. The right side of the Weslaco offensive line walled off the PSJ North defense, kept them from getting anywhere near Peyton Knab, and you're not going to score an easier touchdown than that one.
No, you're right about that. So extra point coming up in just a moment. It's up, and it is good. So 16 out of 17, I believe, so far, Martinez. And in that article, Jacob Cavazos, he talked about a lot how the 2 veteran quarterbacks that were on the squad last year, Marco Leal and Elijah Bonda, were very, very helpful to him. So it's good to hear that there was good leadership by the older guys helping the younger guy develop.
Yeah, especially when you think about how frustrating last season was for Weslaco. The fact that that Banda and Leal were able to, get past that frustration and give some good advice to a young quarterback like Jacob Cavazos. That just goes to show the character of all those young men. They were able to do that. That's fantastic.
And, of course, I've been told, I know his sister's a coach in the Valley, Leal. I've been told that just like his sister, he is an LSU fan. Of course, you know how much I like the Tigers, so that gives him some points with me right away.
I believe his sister, Christy Leal, is the head softball coach at Mercedes,
right.
I believe.
Yeah, she's been a couple different places coaching and does a nice job. So, with 7:40 remaining here in the first half, the Panthers have gone ahead of the Raiders 21-0. And I guess since the offense and defense has been pretty good, we can look right in the next room and see the coaches for Weslaco. We have our booth on the Weslaco side of the field, I guess the auxiliary press box, and so far there hasn't been a lot of slamming or throwing or anything else because I guess things have been going pretty well.
Yeah, I don't see any sweat on the brows next door. They all look pretty calm, cool, and collected over there. That's a bunch that knows that their players are executing exactly the way they want to.
All right, kickoff going back. And it's going to be taken at the 9-yard line. And right now the ball will be taken about to the 19, so the return only of about 10 yards.
Yeah, and a flag on the play. Trying to see who that was who got the tackle who came off. It looks like it might have been whoever it is injured for Weslaco. Looks like that's number 42.
Players nicked up a little bit tonight.
Yeah, getting nicked up. That's Jathan Gonzalez. We've seen him on special teams before. He got the final tackle. Came off a little lame. He's going to be helped over to the trainer's table, looked like. Maybe get taped up. We'll see what.
And by the way, I want to ask you, how have you enjoyed the start of the season Thursday night games? A little different for me. Usually I've always been used to doing Friday nights. I of course, travel a lot on the weekends. I was at the Saints game last weekend, going back to New Orleans for the Browns game with the Saints. And by the way, I could not believe the Saints gave up over 500 yards of offense to Tampa Bay.
That was pretty amazing. Block below the waist is the call, which is not something you'll often see from the defense on a kickoff, but it can happen.
All right, so the ball is moved up to the 39-yard line, still in Raiders territory, and they'll start off first down and 10. I backfield. Tight formation, and the ball is going to be handed off to the deep back, and he is going to get down near about the 49-yard line. So on that play, gain of about 10.
For Arturo Beltran, get some extra yardage there. And we had another Weslaco defender losing his helmet. Looks like this time it was number 16 this time. It was Jaden Knub.
Okay.
And the trainers are going to have to look at him as they have to look at every single player.
Doesn't he have an interception or two this year?
Absolutely does. Absolutely does.
He's done a nice job.
They have to check out his eyes, make sure there's no concussion. They have to do that with every player whose helmet comes off.
All right, and the ball will be given back to Arturo, and he gets not much at all. What do you think about this change, a kind of a more traditional type situation with the I backfield, tight formation? What do you think about it?
Well, I would say it might work if Marco Noriega wasn't on the other side of the ball, and the fact is that Noriega, got some really good penetration there and was able to keep it, almost had a tackle for a loss. It looked good for Beltran, in the backfield on that first play, but that second play, Noriega had it sniffed out.
No gain at all.
No gain.
Nope, no gain. Second down and 10. This time, quarterback back to pass and has a receiver open, and he is going to go to the 20, the 15, and finally he is knocked down at the 10-yard line after a nice gain, and that looked like it was Rolando Coronado.
Yeah, Rolando Coronado with a beautiful catch there. He was pretty open. Closest defender was 5 yards away with a little post pattern. And Ronhell saw it, made sure that he was able to get it to him. That's the best gain, and this is the best field position that PSJ North's offense has had all game.
Got it all the way down to the 11-yard lines. So get another first down. It's not first down and goal to go.
And you notice how Kaufman did that, the old offensive coordinator coming out at him. He run to set up the pass, and that's exactly what they did.
A nice job. This time Gonzalez trying to sweep around the right side. Good lateral pursuit, but he'll get by it and get down to the 4, so he gets about 7 yards on that play, the freshman.
Good speed on him, and you saw as he turned the corner, he hit another gear and was able to outrun the defense. And
So we're going to have first down and 3 yards to go. Excuse me. Yeah, that would be correct. First and goal to go.
Yeah,
first and goal
from
the 3.
Yeah, more like from the 4.
Yeah, that's a little bit. We looked at the scoreboard,
Yeah.
a little bit off that time. So yeah, you're right. By eyeballing it,
exactly.
It's at the 4-yard line. A beautiful scoreboard, by the way. One of the best in the valley. All right. We have a slot over on the left side, and there's a whistle.
Flag on the play.
Okay.
Weslaco defenders say it's going to be a false start. No. Nope.
Timeout.
Timeout.
By the way, we were just talking about the scoreboard here. Last week, we didn't have a lot of time to talk about a lot of things happening, a lot of scoring against Ed Couch Elsa. But I want to talk about the new scoreboard over at Bobby Lackey Stadium. A great scoreboard, big screen to get the replays and watch everything. And my understanding is that no school money went into it. It all came from advertisers.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's great. You know, there's been some really great scoreboards that have gone up in the Rio Grande Valley lately. There's one at Bogus Stadium in Harlingen. This one here at PSJA Stadium. The great one that's just gone up at Bobby Lackey. The one at Rio Grande City at Sanchez Stadium. Very impressive. And you know, it's great because, you know, local advertisers get their name out with the public that they want, which is football fans, and football fans get to, you know, enjoy the scoreboard and get a little better in-game experience inside the stadium.
So again, it is going to be second down and goal to go at the 3-yard line. 5:46 remaining in the opening half. 21-0. The Panthers are blanking the Raiders. And this time, the ball is going to be taken in for a touchdown. So the shutout is over, and it's going to be Arturo Beltran. Goes 3 yards for the score.
You said it, Scott, at the beginning of this drive. They were going back a little old school, PSJ North, using Beltran as a single eye back, and it pays off here. Great touchdown for Beltran, and that is the first half touchdown that Weslaco has led up all year.
All right, so we wait for the extra point attempt. It's coming, and it is good. So it is now 21-7 as Beltran gets that run of 3 yards. We didn't see him much early, but you know, we knew that he was quite a player. We knew he'd be part of the offense soon.
In the first couple of drives, PSJ North was using him more as a receiver, taking him in motion, bringing him around for reverses. But Coach Kaufman over on the other sideline decided to stop with the trickeration and just give him the ball straight up in the I formation.
Well, so far this season, Arturo Beltran has carried the ball 16 times for 95 yards and now 3 touchdowns, averaging almost 6 yards a carry. So he definitely knows what he's doing. And we mentioned, as far as receptions, in the first 2 games, had 4 catches each game for 60 yards. And as a matter of fact, I believe he may have had a touchdown in there. Yes, in the opening game he had a touchdown. So he's scored both on a touchdown, reception, and also scored running the ball. Versatile.
Very versatile, of course. His touchdown would not have happened had it not been for the big passing play from Isaiah Rangel to Rolando Coronado. That was the big play that broke that drive open.
So 5:41 remaining, and now I don't call this necessarily adversity, but it's not something good for Weslaco, obviously. But we always want to see how the team bounces back after something
like I said, this is the first time they've been scored on in the first half all season long. How will they react to that?
Uncharted territory.
Exactly. They've had it pretty, I mean, I won't say easy because it took hard work to shut out all those teams, but that's going to go out of the back of the end zone for a touchback.
All right.
So they'll start from their 25 with a Weslaco offense.
And I'll tell you what, reading that article, just hearing about the maturity of Jacob Cavazos, obviously Coach Salinas is very pleased with him. Jacob Cavazos come such a long way from last year. It really has, from his sophomore year.
Absolutely has, and he's still got a ways to go, you know. But what I've noticed about him that has really struck me has been his calmness and you know, his decision making. He never gets rattled. He could be, you know, he could be under attack from 2 different defensive ends who are about to do the Malachi crunch on him, but it doesn't matter. He doesn't get rattled. He doesn't give up the ball. He doesn't do a bad pass. If there's a sack coming, he takes the sack. Looks like Weslaco's going to take a timeout. I'm not sure what they didn't like about the formation that PSJ North was throwing out there, or they didn't like their own personnel. Not sure.
I was watching an NFL game, and someone was complaining about a coach not taking timeouts when he needed to, and they said you can't take them in the locker room, right?
That is the truth.
So
That is the truth.
Did you enjoy except for the Cowboys game, obviously, we'll talk more about them later, did you enjoy the first weekend of NFL, some things that stood out to you besides the Cowboys?
Well, obviously the miraculous healing powers of Aaron Rodgers is the one thing that, when you don't usually see a guy taking
Green Bay
off.
Quarterback?
You don't usually see a quarterback taking off on a stretcher or a cart and then come back to lead his team to a comeback victory. That's not something that happens every day.
He's been out of practice for the past couple days, so he's still listed maybe as questionable for this weekend, but I have a feeling he'll be in there. All right,
Cavazos loses
yes,
the ball.
Jacob Cavazos loses the ball, falls on it at the 20. Let's see if it's still the possession
He
of
came
the home
back
team.
up with it.
I
Barely.
mean, of the visiting team.
Barely.
Yeah.
He had his boarding house reach and was able to stretch out there and just get it back in front of the defender. Take another look here and see how close it was. Just gives it up. Oh, just takes it back. So close.
So it's going to be 2nd down and 15 after that. And this time a running play, and it's going to pick up a few yards. Cavazos, I believe, with it. Yes.
Absolutely. Gets back about to the line of scrimmage, maybe just a little short.
Yeah, I'd
Nah,
say
it's got
3
2
on
yards.
that
Yeah.
officially. But again, like you said, it got some of the lost yardage back, so that was key. Keeps it still manageable maybe on 3rd down for this team.
Yeah, but now in 3rd and long, when the team that you're playing just came off of a touchdown, you do not want to give them the ball back, whether it's, from a punt situation. You want to try and get at least 1 first down here, or else the momentum is all on the Raiders' side.
So back to pass is Cavazos. Is going to be a long pass. Looks for Jaden Cavazos down the field, I believe. And
Yeah, Cavazos was going straight down the field.
Right.
Jaden Cavazos was, but the pass just a little off to the left there by
So-
Jacob Cavazos, and so
Punt time.
they went for it. But
Oh,
so now PSJ North all of a sudden has scored a touchdown and held Weslaco to a 3-and-out. You have to wonder about that.
that's right. Big series defensively that time for the Raiders. Back to pass is back to punt is Jacob Cavazos. We're so used to saying back to pass. And he gets it downfield, and it is going to bounce. And
That's the thing about
Yeah.
those rugby punts. Sometimes you get good rolls off of them. Sometimes they just stop and don't go anywhere.
so it's going to be about the 46-yard line where the Raiders will start in their own territory. So far, Jaden Cavazos, in the first game, he had 5 catches for 45 yards and a touchdown. Second game, 2 catches for 74 yards and a touchdown. Overall, Jaden's done a nice job. 7 catches for 119 yards and 3 touchdowns. Even though that play didn't work, you got to watch out for Jaden Cavazos. No relation, by the way, to Jacob. 1st down and 10. Ball is at the 45-yard line of the Raiders. And here is the quarterback, Ronhell. Isaiah Ronhell gets the pass, and it's going to be about a 5-yard gain at the far side of the field. The receiver goes out of bounds at about midfield.
Isaac Gonzalez was just the safety valve there. Ronhell was looking to go downfield, but all of his receivers were covered. Had to go over to Gonzalez in the flats. He was the only guy open, and it was only for 5 yards. He was also being pretty pressured there by Samuel Perez, coming right up the middle. Big man.
Perez had a nice year so far.
You don't want to see him coming your way.
Clock is stopped with 4:09 remaining. And again, this time the quarterback gets it, and Ronhell has it, and he is going to go down to about the 47-yard line. Still a couple yards short of the first down, picked up about 3.
Jacob Bali on the tackle, keeping PSJ North from getting that first down.
You notice the tackling is very balanced for Weslaco. A lot of guys contribute.
Absolutely do. But as balanced as it is, it's tough not to notice Marco Noriega out there being
You're right about that.
Being in on just about every single play.
He's a leader. 3rd down and 2, ball at the 47-yard line in Panthers territory as the Raiders move toward the south.
Oh, that's a good
end
stop.
zone.
That's a good stop.
Good stop. It's not going to go anywhere. That time the handoff didn't do anything.
Yeah, that was a big stop that time. Who was on that top? Of course it was Seth Sanchez.
Yep.
That makes sense. Seth Sanchez got a hold of him and would not let him go.
Was that Gonzalez that time? I'm trying to see.
Oh, on the run?
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe
Okay,
so.
All right, so it's going to be 4th down and 1. I think you go for it because you want to really get that momentum.
Absolutely.
I mean, you started it by making Weslaco go 3-and-out after you scored.
And especially if you're a team that averages over 300 yards rushing, you have to have faith in your offensive line that they can get you a half yard whenever it's needed. All especially in the other team's territory.
2 backs in the backfield, quarterback keeper, and Ronhell will get it as he falls forward to about the 44.
Yep, first down, and like I said, got to have faith in that offensive line. PSJ North gets a big first down. You know, they keep the ball alive. Like I said, touchdown and then 3 and out, and now getting a first down. Coach Salinas is going to be happy to get to the halftime locker room because this PSJ North team is gaining some momentum as we get down under 2.5 to play.
So 1st and 10, ball at the 44-yard line, and this time quarterback keeper.
Oh, Ronhell fumbled.
And Ronhell fumbles.
I think Noriega got it.
Noriega, did he get it?
Noriega got it.
All right.
That's Weslaco ball. Marco Noriega.
Who was shaken up earlier.
Yeah, comes back on, makes the big, huge play. We talked about momentum. You can stop it, and Marco Noriega just stopped all the Raiders' momentum dead in its tracks.
Am I correct? This is the 3rd turnover of the game, and the first two, it was Weslaco capitalizing on them with scores.
Yeah, capitalized on both with scores, but the bigger thing is just stopping that PSJ North momentum. They were getting more confident with every first down, with the score, with stopping Weslaco's offense, but there, coming up with it, Marco Noriega. And he was the only white shirt in a whole pile of black shirts as well.
1st and 10 at the 41-yard line is Weslaco. This time Payne Kanab has it, and he stutter steps and looks like he might have got no gain going laterally, but falls ahead for at least some positive yardage.
Yeah, that's the sign of vision in a good running back, able to see that the outside is going to be locked up. So, hey, make a cut inside if you have to. If you have to lose the blockers, lose the blockers. Always got to know where your best option is.
And actually a 3-yard gain, 2nd down and 7, ball at the 44, but we're under 2 minutes remaining. We have to see if we see some long passes. We have slot receivers. Ball going down to Jaden Cavazos. He got by his defender, and he tried to reach out for it, but pass was overthrown as he dived for it around the 25-yard line.
The reason Jaden Cavazos was open is because a great pump fake from Jacob Cavazos. Pumped it. The PSJ North defenders bit, gave Jaden an extra yard, but Jacob Cavazos overthrows Jaden Cavazos by about a yard.
So it'll be 3rd down and 7. And again, say another incomplete pass, you punt it. With this team, PSJA, even though they run a lot, you know, they can pick up yardage pretty quick sometimes. So, you know, there's still a good chance for them to score if you have to give it back.
Yeah, that last drive they had was impressive.
Yeah. So Jacob Cavazos goes around the left side, and he is going to get the first down and
Cutting
more.
All the way back.
He's at the 40. He's at the 30. He is down at the 20, and he finally goes out of bounds maybe right before the 20 at the 21-yard line. Good running. He was at his own 44, took it down to near the 21.
That was all Jacob Cavazos for about the first 25 yards. A beautiful cut back to the middle of the field, and then Jaden Cavazos threw a block that gave Jacob Cavazos that last 15 yards.
Gain of about 35 on that play. This time Payne Kanab has it. He's at the 15. He's at the 10, the 5, and he'll be knocked down right there, and he has another good gain of 15.
This Weslaco offense smells blood. There's blood in the water, and they are going no huddle. They know that PSJ North defense is a little discombobulated out there. They're going to snap it quick.
And once again, it is Payne Kanab, and he dives forward. It doesn't get much at all that time, as it's now going to be 2nd and goal to go from the 5.
Now they'll slow it down a little bit, but you saw that after that huge gain, Coach Salinas wants his team in the no huddle, wants them to take advantage, maybe a little confusion on that PSJ North defense.
We're approaching 50 seconds remaining. First half clock is running, and this time it's going to be handed off to Kanab again, and he'll get about 1 yard to the 4. So it's going to be 3rd and goal to go at the 4, and just 1 yard picked up by Kanab on those last 2 rushes.
And a timeout called by Coach Salinas and Weslaco.
Now, again, just going straight forward, power football didn't get much. Do you think, you were talking about coaches setting somebody up, do you think that right now Coach Salinas is trying to set up the defense of the Raiders for maybe some kind of rollout by Jacob and an option where he can throw it or run for the touchdown?
Yeah, it could be, but I would think that if he had a little trickeration plan, that he might have just called it without calling the timeout. 42 seconds to go. Still got a 4th down play if you need to. Time enough for that. Calling this timeout here means that he wants to make sure he's got the exact right personnel in and the exact right play called. And also, by the way, he's also calling the 4th down play in case they do not make it. He'll have that play ready for them to go with as well.
Well, it'll be great to go into the locker room and have a bigger lead, obviously. I forget who has it to begin the second half. My memory slips me right now on that, but
I'm pretty sure that PSJ North took the ball.
No, it's going to be. Yeah, they had it. Did they have it first because they had the long drive? Remember, they got to the 19.
Right.
They went from their own 25 to the 19. So
yeah, it'll
Panthers
be
will
Weslaco
get
ball. It should be Weslaco ball.
Took me a moment, folks, but the mine has some cobwebs in it, but it still works.
Raiders still have one last time out, but Panthers are out of them.
42.8 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. And again, we have 3 wideouts on the left side. Cavazos has it, empty backfield. He's going to look toward that left side, and he is going to throw the ball in the end zone, and it's a touchdown.
Wide open. I believe that's Jay Granados. It is Jay Granados. He was all alone. Somebody missed their defensive assignment on PSJ North because he was just walking along the back of that end zone like he was headed towards a picnic. Nobody close to him. That was pretty easy little pitch and catch from Jacob Cavazos to Jay Granados.
All right. So we get ready for the extra point attempt. It's now 27-7. It's up, and it is good. So, is that the second or third touchdown pass?
We've got 2 touchdown passes to Diego Gonzalez and Jay Granados, and we've got 2 touchdown runs, Peyton Knab and Peyton Knab.
Okay, gotcha. So just want to make sure I had that straight. So balance, scoring balance.
B-A-L-A-N-C-E, balance, as the great Sean Connery once sang. That is what you need. You gotta, and that's what this offense has. You look at their offense; they average about 160, 170 yards through the air, about 170, 180 through on the ground. You cannot keep this offense from getting done what they want to get done.
Okay, Roy Trevino right now is being looked at on the train table. Does have his pads on.
Yeah,
folks, so.
yeah, saw that.
Yeah.
So he was, of course, injured on the punt return that Devin Denna had about 3 drives ago, and they're still looking at him.
All right.
We'll see if he comes back after halftime.
Well, again, fans are happy so far. I guess all the prognosticators this week in the various publications did have Weslaco the favorite. So a lot of weeks they're not the favorite, but they were the favorite this week, I believe, by most of the prognosticators. So the kickoff comes down, and it's going to be brought back to about the 25-yard line, and there's going to be about 30 seconds remaining. Do you play it safe and just try to run out the clock, or do you try to do something big?
I think you try to do something big if you're Coach Marcus Kaufman here. I think you try and get a big score, get a big turnaround, at least get a big play, something that you can build on in the second half. Right now, down 21 points, not much you can talk about positive except for that one drive that you had, but that seems like a long time ago now for this Raiders squad.
All right, so it is going to be first down and 10. We have 3 wideouts over there on the left side, back in the backfield. Spread formation, obviously. And this time the ball will be passed off, and it is going to go down to about the maybe a 3-yard gain. Not much on that particular play. And the receiver that time was Ronaldo Coronado. We called his name earlier.
Yeah, Coronado had the best play of this first half for PSJ North. The big catch from Rangel that set up the touchdown.
So this could be the final play of the half. It's second down and short, but that's not going to mean too much. They do get the reception down to about the 45-yard line of Weslaco, but time is going to run out following that reception. Looking at it, I believe it was Israel Oliveras who had the reception.
Yeah, it looked like they might have been trying a little hook and lateral there at the end, but they could not get it set up. But that is it. That's all she wrote. Halftime.
We'll get a couple insights from you first. Peyton Knab scored on a 25-yard run to open things off. Then it was a pass, Jacob Cavazos to Diego Martinez, right?
Yes.
And that was a 5 yards. Peyton Knab had another 4-yard run for a touchdown. And then a 3-yard run by Arturo Beltran. He gets a touchdown for the home team. And then finally, we have a 4-yard touchdown pass to Jay Coronado, I should say, from Cavazos. So Cavazos having another good game. In the first game, he threw 3 touchdowns. Second game, 4. So already he's in double digits touchdown passes of the season with 10. That's impressive. And before we go to halftime, some final words from Clay on the first half?
Well, you just have to be impressed with the way Weslaco approaches this game. Defensive pressure, offensive variance. Never do what they think you're going to do. Always, go for that extra yard. Jacob Cavazos is a fantastic quarterback, and he's got some great weapons. The offensive line is getting off the ball. They're getting some penetration against the defense of PSJA North. Of course, what the defense is doing with the turnovers and capitalizing on those turnovers. 3 turnovers in the first half for PSJA North, all turned into touchdowns for Weslaco. That's exactly what a coach wants to see.
All right, Clay Williams, we appreciate your insight and look forward to working with you here in the second half. It is halftime. It's the Weslaco Panthers over the home team, the PSJA North Raiders, 28-7. We are at PSJA Stadium in Pharr, Texas, and we'll be back after halftime with second half action. Enjoy the bands. And again, this is a K-West production. And we're back once again, along with Clay Williams. I'm Scott Harrison. We're in Pharr, Texas, PSJA Stadium, and at halftime, it is the Weslaco Panthers 28 and the PSJA North Raiders 7. And Clay, I was talking to Nate Mott at halftime. He's writing a story today for the McAllen paper, The Monitor, and he told me that Peyton Knob has over 60 yards rushing, I believe 62 in the first half. Remember, his highest totals rushing so far in the first 2 games were around 40 yards, so he surpassed his season high in rushing. Also has his first 2 rushing touchdowns of the season. I believe he already has a passing touchdown. And also, we see that Jacob Cavazos has rushed for over 40 yards in the game. So a couple of the key offensive highlights. Obviously, you can read the Monitor tomorrow or go online later tonight, get the scores and read Nate's story. So Clay, again, we're getting ready for the second half. Peyton Knob, 2 touchdowns rushing. Also, Diego Martinez, he has a 5-yard touchdown reception. And we see that I believe it was Jay Coronado right near the end of the half. He had a 4-yard touchdown reception. And Jacob Cavazos, he has 10 touchdown passes on the season.
Yeah, 10 touchdown passes on the season. The last 2, as you mentioned, to Diego Martinez and Jay Granados. So, this is what Jacob Cavazos did against McAllen Rowe in the first game of the season. He ran the ball well, and kept the defense honest. And after that, he was able to make some room for himself and make some great passes the rest of the game, and that's what he's done here.
And so there is Denna. He gets the kickoff to start the second half, and he is going to go cross field out just past the 30-yard line. Good field position as we are going to see Weslaco start the second half with the ball. We'll see if they can have a long drive, take some time off that clock.
That's exactly what Coach Salinas wants to do. Come down here, make first down after first down after first down. Don't try anything tricky. Don't try anything, too long, too crazy. Don't get yourself in trouble. Just keep getting 3 yards each and every time out, and next thing you know, third quarter's over, and you might have a 28-point lead. That's what they're hoping for.
Panthers 2-0, opening game on the road. They defeated Nicky Rowe 28-7 at McAllen. At home, big win over at Koch-Elsa, 58-7. At Koch-Elsa didn't score till late in the game. Cavasso keeps it and gets about 8 yards on the quarterback keeper to begin the second half.
Yeah, beautiful fake there to Peyton Knob. And, of course, you know, as you mentioned, over 60 yards for Knob in that first half to go along with 2 touchdowns. PSJA North has to be careful with him, so they bit on the fake, and that opened up some big running room for Jacob Cavazos, the quarterback for Weslaco.
So 2nd down and 1 to go, and Peyton Knob has it. Had to get to about the 41-yard line, gets to the 44, so gets close to 5 yards on that rush.
Yeah, and gets a big first down for Weslaco. Like we said, just keep racking up those yards, watching that clock tick down. You're up 3 scores. You've got the ball to start this second half. The ball is in your court. You are in control.
And a pass this to Denna. Denna gets it to the 45. He'll be out at the 50, picks up about 5 on that play. So it is going to be 2nd and 5 after a couple running plays, throwing the pass, and get some more yardage.
Yeah, Gaudianix Garcia on the tackle right there, coming off of the right side with a hard hit, but not before Denna already gets his 6 yards.
So 2nd down and 4. Ball at the 49-yard line, now in Raider territory, and this time it's going to be Knob, and he was trying to sweep the right side, nothing doing. He's going to take a loss on the play.
Yeah, and take a big loss from the big man. Albert Elizondo, the senior defensive tackle, came in there and told Peyton Knob there was nothing doing, and this was going to be his house.
Remember, he has 7 sacks on the year, so you know he can throw players down for a loss, whether it be a quarterback or a running back.
Absolutely. I said tackle. He's playing on the defensive end today. Edge rushing, and Knob ran right into him.
Loss of 4, 3rd down and 8. This time it is Cavazos who will keep the ball, and he is going to go out after a couple-yard gain. Had to get to the 45-yard line, and that is also in the territory of the Raiders. Gets down to about his own 49, so still about 6 yards to go.
Yeah, and it's 4th down, and here comes the punt crew. This is not what Coach Salinas wanted. Wanted to keep that ball a little longer, make a long drive. But instead, PSJA North's going to get the ball here.
Less than a 2-minute drive.
Yeah, after Weslaco just made 1 first down on that one.
All right, so it's going to be 4th down and 7 as the punt comes up. Jacob Cavazos is the punter, and we see one back is back to get it, and he will get the ball off from his own 40. And it is going to come down, and it is rolling, and it is going to go in the end zone for a touchback.
Yeah, Weslaco special teams unit was hoping that that one would stay put. Maybe they could lock them down inside the 5-yard line, but instead it'll come out to the 25.
Key in the second half right now, whether Roy Trevino comes back in the game. He had his shoulder pads off after getting nicked up in the first half. Remember, he is the 3rd leading tackler on the team with 11 tackles so far this season, so we'll have to see if number 2 returns to the lineup.
He will not. He's down there on the sidelines. He's got his pants on, but he's still got his pads off, and it doesn't look like he'll be back in the game anytime soon.
All right, so first play from scrimmage, and we see a run, and it's going to be a quarterback keeper, and Ronhell has it, Isaiah Ronhell, and he is not going to pick up too much on that carry going toward the left.
How can you expect to when you've got Marco Noriega tracking him down like he's the predator out there, just making sure that nobody gets outside of the tackles. Marco Noriega is the leading tackler for this squad. He's a leader on this defensive unit, and he is all over the place.
So it's going to be 2nd down and 10. And, of course, Ronhell has, coming into the game, 273 yards rushing, almost 300 in the game, and that's just after 2 games. All right, he'll be back to pass. He can throw 2, and this time tries to get it upfield and gets it to his receiver down at the 43-yard line, and that is a nice pickup of double digits.
Yeah, Jonathan Garza with a nice catch in traffic right there, but you know, praise to Ronhell there because he only puts it where his receiver can get it right out of the reach of the defenders, and Garza makes a sweet catch there for the big first down.
All right, so they will mark the ball over at the 37-yard line. It's going to be 1st and 10. So both teams so far have 1 first down on their opening series of the second half. We'll see if the Raiders can do more. And they will as another pass is completed, and it goes inside Weslaco territory on the far side of the field down to the 49-yard line, pickup of about 11.
Yeah, once again, Rolando Coronado had the biggest play of that first half for PSJA North, comes up with another big gain there, and it's another first down for the Raiders, who are all of a sudden starting to move the ball more with the passing game than with the running game, which is how PSJ North's been doing it the first 2 games of the season.
So first down and 10, ball at the 49-yard line of Weslaco. About 4 minutes into the second half. 12-minute quarters in high school ball if you're not familiar with it. And this time quarterback keeper, and it's going to be about a 4-yard gain for Ronhell.
PSJ North starting to get some good yards on every single play, whether it's running or passing.
So they're going to call it a 5-yard gain. Ball is second down and 5 at the Weslaco 44-yard line.
PSJ North's offense getting something done, but they're still behind the 8 ball when it comes to the score, being down 3 scores to Weslaco, and the clock ticking down. It won't be too long before we're halfway through the 3rd quarter.
Time-consuming drives for the home team, and this time the ball is going to be handed off. I believe it was to Gonzalez, but it's going to be a short gain of about 2. What do you think about that freshman?
He's pretty impressive. He's the only freshman on the varsity roster for PSJ North, so you know he's got to be good for Coach Kaufman to have him in there so quickly. You know, you think about the fact that, you know, 4 or 5 months ago this kid was in 8th grade, and now he's out here under the big Friday night lights. That's quite a big jump.
So it's going to be 3rd down and 2 to go. Ball at the 41-yard line of Weslaco. We have trips on the right side, one back in the backfield along with Ronhell. He'll get the ball. He'll start going toward his left, try to find the single receiver on that side, gets the ball down to the 25-yard line, and pass is incomplete.
That'll bring up 4th down, and a big 4th down for Weslaco's defense, who stiffened up here at the end of this drive now that it's gotten into their own territory.
Rolando Coronado, the intended receiver, called his name a lot. So it is going to be 4th down and 2. Ball still on that 41-yard line. And again, we'll see what happens here. We'll see.
What do you do here? You go for 2 and risk having Weslaco start it with good field position? Looks like you do.
Got some momentum. I think if you're going to get back in this game, you got to show you can do it. All right, ball goes back to Beltran, and he doesn't make the first down. So again, Weslaco's defense is up to the task, but I think when you're down that far, you got to show you can do something to get back in the game. I really don't argue with the call.
Especially when what PSJ North was doing at the end of the first half was giving it to Beltran in that I formation, and it was working. So why not go back to what works? But what Weslaco countered with was some great defensive play there, and it ended up being Jake Espinoza getting the tackle for the Panthers.
Espinoza got a fumble for a touchdown last week.
Absolutely.
Now, when teams start watching this film, they're going to start getting scared maybe of going for it on 4th down with this Weslaco defense, aren't they, when they start scouting, maybe Harlingen South, for example, next week. Okay, so it's going to be 1st down and 10 right now. It is the visitors with the ball, and they're going to hand it off. I believe that's Peyton Knab, and he is going to get about 4 yards on 1st down.
Absolutely is, and his lead blocker right that time was Francisco Alarcon, leading the way, getting him that extra yard.
All right, so it's going to be 2nd down and 7. Balls on the 44-yard line of Weslaco. Again, I think their goal still is to run the clock, even though they ran less than 2 minutes off on the last series, only 1 first down. We'll see what they can do this time. Cavasso's back, looking for Denna. Denna is open, and he can't quite get the ball down at his 20-yard line. I heard one of the coaches next door pound his fist on the table. He knew that was a sure 6. Could he get the ball to him?
Also, it's a penalty.
And coach probably likes that even less.
Yeah, it looks like it was holding.
And for people that just tuned in, we do have the coaching staff next door to us. We're in
the Weslaco coaching staff.
Right.
Yep, they are here.
All right. One thing tonight, not so much of your favorite penalty tonight for Weslaco, right?
What's that?
Your favorite penalty is
yeah, we haven't seen the false starts like we have in the past. So that was one thing that plagued this team the first 2 games.
Was that holding?
That was holding.
Yeah, I thought so.
That was holding.
All right, so it's going to be 2nd down and 17. Ball at the 34-yard line of Weslaco. I know the first game against Nicky Rowe over, I think, about 10 penalties of that type.
Yeah, about 10 false starts and about 6 or 7 against Edcouch-Elsa.
All right, pass goes over to the right side, and there's going to be a nice gain.
He found the seam.
He found the 40, and he's going to be down at the 35-yard line.
Diego Martinez, he scored the first passing touchdown of the game.
So he gets about 30 yards on that reception. About 30 yards.
Huge. It was a very short pass, just over in the flats, but he had blocking right there when he caught it. He was smart.
And took
a look at his blocking, saw where it was going, and made the move.
Another short pass, but another nice gain of about 5 or 6 yards. Coming into this game, Martinez had only 38 yards in 2 games, and receptions had about that much on that play previously.
Yeah, twisted his ankle in the first game, but definitely coming on strong in this one. Devin Denham makes the catch on that play.
All right, so he gets 6 on the play. It's 2nd and 4. Ball already down to the 29-yard line of the Raiders. Just moments ago, it was at the Weslaco 34. So maybe not using up that much clock, but I think they'll trade points for a clock time.
You noticed after the big gain by Diego Martinez that Coach Salinas immediately went into the no huddle. He loves doing that.
And again, another running play, and it's going to be Knab picking up a few on the play. He is really developing as a running back. I mean, he's becoming a real workhorse. You know, last year, of course, Matthew DeSantiago, Matt, did a lot of the running because of the injury to Knab. I think they wanted to have them both do a lot of running, but now
and this year, Knab getting most of the carries because of the injury to Jeremy Coronado.
So the last 2 years, a running back that was supposed to be featured a lot went down early. Now, we don't know if Coronado, he hasn't been played at all this year. We don't know his status of when he'll be back. But now another running play, and this time Knab has it, and it was a 3rd down and 2, and he's going to get a 1st and 10 as he gets down to the 27, so he gets several yards on that play.
Yeah, Knab once again following that blocking and a big surge over on that left side of the offensive line for the Panthers.
Their offensive line doing a nice job, and their defensive line, again, you win at the line a lot, don't you?
Absolutely. It's all in the trenches, says the guy who used to play there.
That's right. I gave you a chance to plug your guys, right? Former center, Clay Williams. 4:27 clock running, 1st and 10, ball on the 24. Weslaco in the territory of the Raiders, and this time it is Cavazos rolling to his right, has a receiver open in the end zone, and that is a touchdown. We just have a 24-yard touchdown to Devin Denham.
Beautiful. It was beautiful. You know, Cavazos rolled out to his right, took all the time he needed, waited until Denna got open, and by the time he got open, he was wide open, and it was an easy pitch and catch. Once again, Jacob Cavazos not forcing any passes. He's not putting, you know, trying to get past the defenders, get it through their hands. He's getting the guys that are wide open, making the easy passes, and making it look easy out there as well.
We talked earlier, we hoped Denna on the opening series would get a touchdown. Now he has 1 touchdown reception each game.
Every single game. That's consistency.
All right, and speaking of consistency, George Martinez only missed 1 extra point attempt this year. He's got to have, what, about 15 or 16 extra points.
Certainly does.
Yeah.
So 35-7 here. Let's give you a couple of other scores from across the valley. 3rd quarter, it is Valley View 21, Brownsville Rivera 3. So many games that were scheduled for tomorrow night have been moved up for tonight, as it is expected that there will be some pretty big storms tomorrow night. Into the 3rd quarter in Edcouch, and it is Los Fresnos 35, Edcouch Elsa 0. Edcouch Elsa still having real problems to start off this season. Some other scores for you as well. It is, let's see, 1 second. It is Edinburgh 13, La Jolla Juarez Lincoln 7. That is in the 3rd quarter. And it's halftime of the Willacy County Cotton Bowl. Raymondville 35, Lyford 0 at halftime. That's a rivalry game, but not much of a rivalry tonight, kind of like the rivalry between a hammer and a nail.
And, of course, the Yellow Jackets have struggled. Already there was a story, I think, in Wednesday's Monitor about maybe there was some kind of meeting about Coach Chavez, whether he should keep his job or not. I don't think it really happened, but still, it's tough being a high school coach when you're under that kind of pressure after 2 games, right?
Well, when you're talking about that kind of tradition that Edcouch Elsa has, you know, starting off the year with 2 big blowout losses, now make it 3 big blowout losses, there are going to be some people asking questions. But you hired the guy, let him make his moves, let him bring in his people, let him teach the kids, and then after you've given him enough time to actually, put his plan in place, then you can judge it. But right now, it's too early.
Okay. Well, it is going to be a touchback on the kickoff, so we do have 1st and 10 coming up for the Raiders. They are moving from our left to right toward the north end zone here at PSJA Stadium in the 3rd quarter, and Isaiah Ronhell, the quarterback, and he's going to drop back a few steps, and he's going to try to get the ball forward, and it is no good.
That was a screen pass. You could tell by the jailbreak of 3 defensive line players that were going after Ronhell, and it was a screen that was blown up by Marco Noriega. He sniffed that one out from the word jump and just took it out, almost got an interception on that screen pass.
Well, I'll tell you what, defense, offense, that's one thing that has been the trademark so far this year of Weslaco balance. We talked about that in the first half. Got to talk about it again. It is going to be 2nd down and 10. Ball at the 25-yard line of the home team. And again, we'll have the snap to the quarterback in the spread formation. Pass goes ahead. Receiver did not look back. He was about at his own 38. He would have had a 1st down and several more had he maybe had a chance to catch it. Big
miscommunication there, and the fact that Coach Kaufman is going out and talking to Rolando Coronado makes me think it was the receiver who maybe ran the wrong route. Coronado wasn't even looking at the ball when it came whizzing his way from the hand of Ronhell.
3rd down and 10. We don't see that many plays in high school. Considering it's high school, we got to give credit to all these coaches. They really have these guys pretty sharp on execution, don't they, for the most part?
Oh, absolutely they do. They've been working them hard in the heat since first week of August.
3rd down and 10. Time to pass. And the pass is incomplete up the middle. And that time it was Beltran, Arturo Beltran, the intended receiver.
Yeah, but it was Jake Espinoza who blew him up big time, made sure that he wasn't going to catch that ball in any way, shape, or form, delivering the big hit at exactly the right time as soon as the ball hits his hands.
Last week I watched the post-game show still at the stadium with Bobby Lackey, and Carlos Robledo was there, Mike Gonzalez. They were talking to Espinoza, a very confident young man. I mean, he is a real leader out there.
Absolutely.
You know, maybe people might say a little cocky, but no, I think it's just he shows the confidence as a leader on defense. And
sure.
So I really enjoyed listening to him.
And you can see why he's a leader. When you're dealing those hits out there, people look up to you. It's a buck.
It looked like it was blocked. It looked like it was going to be, but it was gotten off at the last second, and it rolls to the 45. It is picked up, and the ball will be returned inside the 40-yard line, maybe down to about the 35-yard line of the home team. So it's going to be great field position for Weslaco.
That was a big special teams mistake by PSJA North. You know, on a punt, you tackle the guy, but he laid off, wanted to see whether Denna would pick it up or not, and when Denna did pick it up, he made some big moves and got him about an extra 20 yards.
Denna, he's valuable on special teams and obviously is a wide receiver. Real speedster. So it is going to be 1st down and 10 right now, and already we see it's at the 33-yard line following that exchange. It is the ball this time of Weslaco moving toward the south end zone without the scoreboard. And let's see if we do runner pass to begin things. We have slots on each side, one back in the backfield with Jacob Cavazos. He'll hand it to Peyton Canab, the running back, and he is going to get down to about the 34-yard line, so he's going to pick up maybe 29-yard line, I should say.
Yeah, that's actually one of the Jessies in, giving Canab a spell.
Oh, who's in now?
That's Jesse Hernandez.
Okay, Hernandez was the one with the 82-yard run last week, right, for the touchdown.
Certainly was.
So he's going to add to his totals. And now the ball is handed again, but this time not much gain, maybe back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, taken down by Seven Sanchez, leading tackler on this PSJ North team. He's a safety, but he is all over the place.
So it's going to be 3rd down and 7, ball at the 30-yard line. And again, clock running, though, that is important for Weslaco. Under 3 minutes remaining here in the 3rd quarter.
I got to tell you, even with a 28-point lead, I don't feel safe about putting too many backups in. I think Coach Salinas would like to have one more touchdown before he starts making some major substitutions.
All right.
This PSJ North team can.
Cavazos has it. He's looking downfield. He's looking for Jaden Cavazos. At the last second, knocked away at about the 2-yard line. Nice defensive play on that particular time by Marco Salinas.
Yeah, he was right on, exactly the way you want your defensive back to be guarding. Looking at the ball, but making sure the guy is in front of you and closing with that great closing speed right before the ball gets to him. It was a perfect play by Salinas.
All right, so now we'll get ready. Salinas already with 29 tackles coming into this game, so one of the top defenders on the team. And we have 4th down and 7. They're going to go for it. Field goal attempt.
Wow, field goal attempt.
So this is what, a 47?
Yeah, this is a 47-yard field goal.
Martinez has hit a 35-yarder. It's up.
He got it.
And it's good.
Wow.
It's good.
How about that?
Wow. We talked, remember that last game when he hit the 35-yarder against Ed Kaj-Elsa, how that might be important in a close game later this year. A 47-yarder is something that really catches your attention.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, it's the perfect time to do it. Yeah, you want to score, but you don't want to, you know, go for maybe on a 4th and long. perfect time to bring out your field goal kicker, give him a little confidence. If he doesn't make it, no big deal. You're still up 4 scores, but getting it, that is a big, big boost for Weslaco's offense, and that's a real downer for PSJA North to swallow.
All right, 38-7 is the score, 2:27 remaining here in the third quarter. Again, a good job offensively and defensively by Weslaco. I guess if you average giving up 1 touchdown a game, of course this one is far from over, but if you do average something like that, I think you're going to win most of your games.
I believe you will. I think that's a pretty good statistic right there.
So we'll see what happens in the remaining part of the game.
These Weslaco fans are going to get spoiled. Of course, they all know that this is non-district.
Yes. Another non-district next week against Harlingen South.
Salinas with some nice moves.
Yeah, the ball got up to the 43-yard line on that kickoff return.
Yeah, Marco Salinas almost, so up to the 43. Good field position for him, but this team's fighting an uphill battle. PSJA North down 31 with only 2 minutes to go in the third quarter.
All right, fans have still stuck around. We heard rumors of maybe rain tonight, some of that rain coming in early, maybe even by about this time. But we still see a sliver of the moon up there, so still clear skies, which is good. Maybe this game will stay dry the rest of the way.
Yeah, exactly. Most of the rain that's been coming down this way has been coming from the north, from the brush country. It looked like it stayed west of us today.
All right, open man, long pass, and it is going to be a touchdown, and this one is going to be 56 yards. It is a big play, and it goes to Arturo Beltran. 56-yard touchdown reception.
Ronhell had him spotted. Beltran got open. Weslaco defense was out of place, and now Marco Noriega limping as he comes over, and he hits the ground. He needs a trainer.
Well, remember, he was shaken up earlier.
He was. Came back on, didn't look any worse for wear, but that time coming up lame.
We talked about how Beltran is both a good receiver and a good rusher, and so far he's got balance. The 2 touchdowns were scored by Beltran on a 4-yard run, and now a 56-yard touchdown reception.
Now the extra point is good, and cutting that Weslaco lead to 24, 38-14 with 2:09 remaining in the third quarter. Still plenty of time for PSJA North to get back in this. That's why I said Salinas wanted to get a score there, and he likes being up 38-14 much better than he likes being 35-14, that's for certain.
Of course, before the game, I saw George Martinez really stretching, working out. I mean, he had a very serious pregame ritual of trying to get loosened up for the game, and it seems to be working from that perspective. So PSJA not giving up. Remember, they scored, what, 44 points in the opener when they beat Memorial. I think it was, what, 44-7. So they can't put some points on the board. And what a thriller, though, they lost to, I think it was Harlingen South, right? Our opponent next week.
Certainly was.
They lost to them 24-23 last week. I believe it was a field goal, maybe in the final 2 minutes, that was the difference. And then they were stopped on 4th down as they tried to get a first down to end the game.
They can't look ahead. The Panthers can't, but I can look ahead and tell you that Harlingen South's going to be a tough opponent. They're whipping up on McAllen right now, leading by about, last I saw, 21-0.
Wow.
So wins over PSJA North, and now looking what might be a win over McAllen.
Yeah, that's a team to be reckoned with. All right, the kickoff by Denna, and Denna is going to get down to about the 29-yard line. And what, a late hit or a face mask?
I think that's going to be a face mask on Jonathan Arias, the sophomore on special teams there.
So that's going to give the ball to Weslaco near midfield.
Should. About the 45-yard line, maybe. Let's see what the referee has to say.
Personal foul.
Yep, personal foul.
Face mask.
Right.
15 yards.
Yeah, personal foul, face mask, of course, 15 yards. An incidental face mask, I believe only 5. Can't remember now. Man, they might have even eliminated that rule altogether with all the helmet rules they have now. Yeah, that'll put it at the 45 for Weslaco. Good field position.
And considering this field is used a lot, I guess there's been a lot of rain lately, very, very good-looking turf. Got to compliment the groundskeeper.
It is fantastic turf.
So first down and 10. Go ahead.
It's actually what they call the cool turf. It was installed by the same people who installed the new turf at Bobby Lackey Stadium, as a matter of fact. The pebbles in the turf are not black and heat absorbing. They're green. Therefore, they don't get as hot during the day.
Not much gain on the play. Let's see who that running back was. because they've been putting some new ones in.
Yeah, that's the other Jesse. That's Jesse Perez. We saw both Jesse's.
That's right.
Run last week at the end of the game when it was out of hand.
3 carries for 2 yards. Got a little chance to run several times. And, of course, last week Hernandez had 3 carries for 82 yards. He was an 81-yard touchdown run. I think I said 82. The actual touchdown one was 81. He had 82 total. Quarterback keeper by Jacob Cavazos, and he is going to get a couple yards, hard-earned yards, as he dives out of bounds right by the Weslaco bench.
What a great show of sportsmanship there. Seven Sanchez was on a safety blitz there, and he was headed right for Jacob Cavazos, but Peyton Knab laid a hit into him as a block that was great, and it sprung Cavazos for those extra 3 yards. After the play, Sanchez comes over to Knab, shakes his hand, and says, man, that was a great block. That's what you like to see from these players out here.
And that's from the coaching staff on down. 3 and 6, 3rd down and 6. Cavasso keeps it. He's going to get the first down and more. He's at the 40. He's at the 30. Nobody's going to catch him.
Gone.
He is gone. Touchdown, as on that play, he goes 49 yards. 49 yards for the score. What a run.
Wow, fantastic. Cavazos had to elude the sack to begin with, as the PSJA North defenders were coming for him. Had to duck underneath the first defender that he saw, ducked underneath, did a little spin move, and then found some clear sailing all the way down to the goal line.
Amazing. He can rush, he can pass, he can do it all. And so far on the season, this is his 3rd touchdown rushing. He has 11 passing. 14 already. We're in the 3rd game. That's better than an average of 4 a game.
That's incredible.
Extra point attempt up and good. So, with 1:07 remaining here in the 3rd quarter, it is now the Panthers 45, the Raiders 14. I tell you what, trading touchdowns.
You know, a lot of that on that particular drive for PSJA North's defense, Scott, I think was PSJA North knowing they had to take chances, going for strips, going for interceptions, trying to create fumbles, you know, knowing that they have to get turnovers in order to get back in this game. And when that happens, sometimes you don't lock up, you don't, you don't make the right tackles that you're supposed to. And I think that's what happened on more than one play, including the final touchdown run for Jacob Cavazos.
All right, getting ready to kick off. It'll be George Martinez. And again, a lot of rain forecast for the area, but a beautiful night for football tonight, so I think some good calls were made to reschedule the games tonight.
Absolutely. You want to make sure everybody's safe. It's not so much about the kids playing in the rain. That's fine. You know, if there's lightning, they can't play. I think the bigger thing, what everybody was worried about, was the travel. You know, these grounds, this land is already pretty soaked to the bone, and any more rain that comes on it, and there's going to be floods, and nobody wants anybody driving around in possible flood conditions.
All right, it's a touchback. Would you like to see at this level, we're not talking about college or pro, but high school, would you like to see your kicker kick it in the end zone each time?
I would like to have my kicker do as I ask him to if I'm the coach.
Well, yeah,
and that means if I want him to be capable of driving it into the end zone each time, but I also want to, tell him to take it up and knock it down for a coffin kick if he has to.
All right.
So I'd like my kicker to be, to have the leg to knock it out each time if he possibly can.
Isaiah Ronhell at quarterback once again.
Shovel pass.
A shovel pass, and it is going to pick up not much yardage at all. A lot of running around back there, but maybe a yard on that play. It's Beltran, who just had the touchdown moments ago.
Yeah, and that tackle made by Jathan Gonzalez.
So, again, we have, it looks like a Weslaco player down, so there'll be timeout on the field. And, again, I want to mention that there was a nice story in the paper, the Monitor, on Monday about the cross-country team, the girls' cross-country team for Weslaco. Even on the front page of the sports, there was a picture of Destiny Longoria. Also mentioned seniors Lisa Marie Sanchez and Aaliyah Garza. The team has won the 2018 Yellow Jacket Invitational and Edinburgh High Invitational, also second at the RGV Classic. So again, a nice story for the Weslaco Panthers girls cross-country team on Monday in the Monitor. Well-deserved, and sounds like they're having a good season. But of course, we hate to see when there's any injuries on the field.
I'm pretty sure this is Marco Noriega again. And when you throw your body around with abandon like he does, you're going to come up with injuries. But I think it's time for him to take a seat for the rest of the game. Let your compadres take it over from here. A 31-point lead. Marco Noriega is getting his knee stretched out. Looks like he has come up with a couple of injuries, but they seem to be pretty confident that he can put his weight on it. Well, let's see. Now he puts his weight on a little bit, but he's going to limp pretty good coming off. He's keeping that left leg pretty straight. Doesn't want to bend it any. I hope it's not his knee. Even the PA announcer for PSJA North over there realizes the kind of game that Marco Noriega has had here, asking for applause for the young man. Definitely the heart and soul of this Weslaco defense.
Loss of 1 on that last play. The screen pass, 2nd down and 11. And this time, pass goes ahead and it's incomplete, so it'll be 3rd and 11. 34.6 seconds remaining here in the 3rd quarter, and the Panthers are up 45-14.
A couple more scores to tell you about in this one. Edcouch Elsa has scored, but they still trail Los Fresnos 35-6. This one at the Black Hole, Benny Layton Memorial Stadium. Also tonight, Valley View looking to go 3-0. Not something you usually see from the Tigers. They're up 28-3 on Brownsville Rivera to start the 4th.
3 receivers on the left side, and that is where the quarterback looks for a moment, then goes up the middle, and it looks like it was complete.
Incomplete.
Incomplete. Okay.
Yeah, it hit the ground before Jonathan Garza picked it up.
So we are going to have 4th and 11. And again, ball in the territory of the Raiders. And they're going to go punt. And Denna will be back around his own 45-yard line to try to get the punt, return it.
Yeah, back on your own 24, down 31 points.
Okay, a timeout is called. PSJ North calls, and it's going to be their first timeout of the 2nd half.
Well, interesting time for a timeout.
Yeah. All right.
4th and long?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, let me ask you, since we have this moment, the Cowboys, 16-8, they lose, right? Their home opener, or I guess it was, right? And now
no, they were on the road.
They were on the road.
In
okay.
Carolina.
Oh, they were in Carolina. You're right about that.
I'm assuming you're talking about the Dallas Cowboys
yes.
and not the Brownsville Porter Cowboys.
No,
so,
no,
all right.
I am.
Okay.
So you being a big Cowboys fan, what about not Oklahoma State? I know you're a Cowboys fan there too. What about this upcoming week for the Cowboys, and what do you think they need to improve on?
Well, I mean, the big thing they need to improve on is to get their offense working and doing something besides just, the same old thing. The defenses have this team scouted out. Stop Ezekiel Elliott and you'll stop their offense. They need to get more creative. Whether it's Scott Linehan, the offensive coordinator, or Jason Garrett, the head coach, they need to use Dak Prescott and his running abilities because he's got them. Just because you're scared he's going to get hurt doesn't mean you shouldn't use him to his utmost. The defense for Dallas is a very good defense, but their offense needs a lot of work.
And here comes the punt, and good pressure once again. A lot of pressure tonight. Gets it off, and the ball will bounce. Not a long punt. The ball will bounce in the territory of the Raiders, and great field position for Weslaco. They'll be down around the 40-yard line when they start again. So the battle of field position has definitely been Weslaco's tonight for the most part.
Yeah, absolutely has. Absolutely has.
So probably one more play to go here in the 3rd quarter. 1st and 10, ball is on the 42-yard line of the Raiders. 18.2 seconds remaining to the intermission. And it is the Panthers over the Raiders 45-14.
Weslaco doing a real good job of putting these games away when they have to. They're not letting these teams hang around. Raymondville still winning the Willacy County Cotton Bowl 42-0.
And bad snap. Quarterback Cavazos has it. Thought he'd just fall on it, but he does run around in the backfield a little bit. He'll lose at least 5 yards, but again, at least he didn't have a turnover.
Yeah, I'm surprised Cavazos is back in there, to tell you the truth. I saw Devin Hanks warming up on the sideline. I thought he might be in for quarterback here as the.
Well, he was in late last game, right?
Yes.
Maybe the final series for Weslaco.
And the Wesco players all putting the 4s up as we get to the 4th quarter.
Yep. It is now 45-14, as we mentioned. Weslaco ahead of PSJA North. Did you think there would be this much disparity in the score after 3 quarters? Did you think maybe this game would be a little bit closer, Clay?
Well, I mean, you always think that it's going to be a closer game, I think. But Weslaco has just had the consistency that these other teams haven't had. Even PSJA North, what they were able to do against PSJA Memorial and bust out for 44 points, they haven't been able to do anything like that. A testament to the Weslaco defense, yes, but also, you know, maybe a testament to the youth of the Raiders. You know, what this Weslaco team is they are businesslike. They come out, they know what they're supposed to do, they execute to the utmost, and they do exactly what their coach tells them to, and sometimes that's the big difference.
2nd down and 17 after a loss of 17 on that last play. Ball is thrown away, and so it's going to be 3rd down.
Yeah, that looked like it might have been a busted screen pass, but the defenders came so hard at Jacob Cavazos, he wasn't able to do anything.
So 3rd and 17. First play of the 4th quarter. And Weslaco, midfield, seeing if they can keep this drive alive. At least they have to punt it. The ball will be deep in the territory of the Raiders. Handoff is taken and is moved about 6 or 7 yards, but still short of the 1st down, maybe near the original line of scrimmage. And on that particular run that time, we see it was Jesse Perez. So we'll give Perez 6 on that play. 4th and 11. And a punt will be coming up. Jacob Cavazos is the punter. And the ball is at the 41-yard line of the Raiders. And we see going back to try to get the punt. I believe it's Sanchez. And ball will roll toward the end zone. Will it be down at the 1-yard line?
That's a good roll. Got it down to the 1.
Wow. Great hustle.
Excellent special teams play there by Jaden Cavazos and gets it down inside the 1.
Wow.
That's like on the 2-foot line right there. That is excellent special teams play. Every coach preaches, you know, the 3 phases of the game: offense, defense, special teams, and that they're all equal. You know, that you have to be exceptional in all of them. And right there, that's an exceptional play for the special teams.
We see Noriega limping around on the sideline right now. Still has his uniform on. Right next to him, Roy Trevino, who already has his uniform off. But I think Noriega, like you said, may be done for the night. So 1st and 10. Ball just about on the goal line. 99 yards plus to go for a score for the Raiders, at least a touchdown. Pass upfield near the 10-yard line, and it's incomplete. And that time it was Rolando Coronado, the intended receiver. And meanwhile, back on defense, trying to make sure that he did not get the catch, it was Gabriel Gonzalez. So we'll have 2nd down and 10. Back at the goal is the home team. And again, somewhere nobody wants to be. All right, we wait for the snap. 2 backs in the backfield, and this time Gonzalez.
Is it a safety? That's a safety.
I think he'll get forward progress.
Oh, yeah, you're right. They're coming off the side, saying that he got back to the 1-yard line.
Right, but not much more. Great defense. Plow the running back. And now we're going to have 3rd down and 10, so no gain on those first 2 plays.
Yeah, give it up to Elijah Estevanes there. He was the guy who plugged up the middle, made sure that PSJ North would get nowhere on that run.
By the way, no safeties yet this year for Weslaco, right? Still
That's
looking
true.
for their first safety.
Edinburgh just scored one, I saw, against La Jolla Juarez Lincoln.
So again, a pass this time from deep in his end zone, and Isaiah has it, gets out of the end zone, throws it, and it's going to be incomplete. He almost looked like he walked over the line of scrimmage.
It was so close, but he was just over the goal line when he let that one go.
So the punter will be punting from the back of his end zone.
Yeah, he's not going to have much room back there.
No. It's going to be a tough punt this time. I believe it's Jose Alvarez, right? The punter. And great field.
Looks like Jose Alvarez, the junior.
And Delvin Denna back at his own, or actually at the 35-yard line of PSJA.
When you're that close, when Devin Denna is at the 35-yard line and you've only got 35 yards between you and the promised land, you got to be fantasizing about it.
Mm-hmm. Now before the snap, a whistle. Delay of game. Wait a minute. That's against the offense.
Not like they can go back much further.
Is it about a 2-inch penalty?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. We're not trying to make light of this, but it's just that.
Yeah, they were just nailed way deep in there, and they've had no luck getting anywhere out.
All right. So, again, the punt will be gotten off. Denna's there.
Denna says get away because it's short. It is short.
Where does it wind up?
It's going to take a little bit of a roll, but it's still going to be down to the 30.
Okay. I think that's about as best as you can expect from a punter in that situation.
I really think
I give him credit. I mean, this is not the NFL or something. But I think he did a good job just getting it off. Now let me say special teams today for Weslaco. Let me give them credit. They have not blocked a punt yet today, but they have put a lot of pressure on the punter. So for Alvarez, I give him a lot of credit for getting those punts off. A couple times from our vantage point, it almost looked like it was blocked, but he got it off.
Absolutely, and a lot of credit for putting that pressure on and yet not coming away with any sort of penalties, roughing the kicker, anything like that. They're putting lots of pressure on, but they're being smart and disciplined about it when they do it.
Yeah, I think special teams has been a strong point tonight. I mean, it all has been in a lot of ways, but I think special teams has stood out in a lot of ways. You agree?
I absolutely do. And there's Devin Hanks in at quarterback.
Okay, and we have a run.
Yeah, Jesse Hernandez.
Yeah, Jesse Hernandez, so he's going to get about 7 on that play.
Yeah, time to run out the clock and give some reps to your backups.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm going to be interested to see what Hernandez and Perez do this year when they get the opportunities.
Absolutely want them. You don't want them to give them their first carries, in a big district game with everything on the line and, perhaps somebody ahead of them being injured. You want them to be used to the Friday night lights. Or the Thursday night lights.
Yeah, Thursday night. All right, and again, not much on that play. It was 2nd and 3 at the 23 before the play. But not much going this time. But it does keep the clock running. Under 9 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter.
Meanwhile, next week's opponent, Harlingen South Hawks, winning big at home, 38-0 over McAllen High.
Wow.
38-0. That one's only less than 5 minutes left in that one. So Harlingen South is going to come in with a 2-game winning streak.
All right, pass this time, incomplete. And the intended receiver on that particular play, let's take a look. I believe that was, it was Jay Granados and, of course, Perez on the previous run. So incomplete pass. It's going to be 4th and 4, ball on the 24-yard line. We know we saw a 45, something like that yard field goal tonight by Martinez. Did you give him another chance to practice?
Yeah, 47, right? 47 yards, yeah.
Did you give him another chance to practice here?
Absolutely you do. Absolutely you do.
It's not trying to run up the score. I think it's just trying to see the distance of your field goal kicker. That's my opinion. Am I wrong or right?
No, I believe you're absolutely right there.
All right, maybe that's what they're going to talk about. What do we do? And there's 2 ways of looking at this. You do want the field goal kicker to see what he can do, but you also don't want to look like you're running it up. I think he's going to talk about that, what they should do.
Sure.
Maybe we just try to go for the first down. Not again, just to see if we can get it rather than trying to put more points up through a field goal. I don't know. There's a lot of different ways of looking at this.
Yeah, I know but with this PSJA North team, we saw their quick strike capabilities earlier with their last touchdown and how fast and how long they're able to stretch the field. A 31-point lead, I have no problem, putting a 3 points up on them. I don't think anybody's feelings would be hurt if Weslaco did decide to do that.
And I was just thinking down the road, later on this season, because of redistricting, realignment, Coach Salinas will go against his old team Vela. That's still down the road. I think it's in October. But that's going to be one on everybody's calendar that's being marked, right?
Certainly will. Yeah. Certainly will. They had a lot of great games on this schedule. The Ed Cal-Chelsea game playing a Mid-Valley, rival. Of course, the big Tinaco Bowl coming your way. Tinaco Bowl, 7? Tinaco Bowl 7? Tinaco Bowl 7 or Tinaco Bowl 5, one or the other against Weslaco East. And then the game with Vela, which, not a normal rival, but just from the fact that Michael Salinas used to be the coach there.
41-yard field goal attempt coming.
And the fact that pretty much everyone, including me, believes that Edinburgh Vela is the best team in the Valley at this point. But Weslaco is making a play for it, I'll tell you that.
All right, kick is up.
41 yards, no
good.
Yeah, it looked
No
like
good.
wide left. Wide left or maybe just a little short.
But still, that's good practice for him. Like I said, there may be a time this year, maybe that Vela game, where it's going to come down to a last-minute play. And especially in that game, Coach Salinas is probably not going to want to talk about it much. Now, let me say, he used to be in TV for a long time. I bet you would be down at the office that week to talk to Coach Salinas when he's going against his old team, right?
Absolutely.
And you'd have a bunch of questions ready and probably some he wouldn't want to answer. Right?
Yeah, but the thing is, Coach Salinas would kind of brush all that off because the way Coach Salinas views himself is just as a professional football coach.
Yeah.
And wherever he is and whatever he's doing, and a big run there from PSJA North.
Big
Huge
run.
run.
It's at the 40. It's
Oh,
at the
my
35-yard line.
Isaac Gonzalez busted loose. And
from the 24 to about the 35. So on that one, he picks up better part of 40 yards.
big run for him. But as I was saying about Coach Salinas is he looks at the team that's in front of him and says, this is the team I have to coach. And other than that, other than, making sure that the kids are, getting good grades and that they've got, they're getting what they need at home and everything like that, I don't know that he looks at much of the other things like rivalries and this is where I was. I mean, I'm sure he's proud of what he did at Edinburgh Vela, but when he faces them, don't think he's going to think twice about who the opponent is on the other side except what he sees on film.
And what he sees maybe in that run he didn't like because he just called timeout. I mean, he has not stopped coaching tonight, and he's going to say, we can't be giving up 40-yard runs no matter what time it is in the game. And I'm sure he's going to have a long talk about that, right?
Absolutely. And if you noticed on that big play by Isaac Gonzalez, they went right up the middle, which is usually – that's usually Noriega territory, Marco Noriega. But Marco out in this game, and having come up lame a couple of times.
Right.
Without him in the middle, it's a different kind of defense out there. That's for certain.
So it's going to be 1st and 10, ball on the 35-yard line of Weslaco, 45-14. Panthers lead the Raiders. 8:01 remaining here in the final period. And again, both fans have stuck around for both teams. Panthers fans always good at traveling, enjoying maybe the last nice night of the weekend. I always say Thursday night kind of begins the weekend.
I'm looking at Marco Noriega on the sidelines right now. He's just talking with the trainer. Basically, I see him going up on his toes. Looks to me like maybe some tight hamstrings.
All right.
Is what he's got back there. Some calf muscles that may be giving him some problems. Still a very warm night, maybe some cramps, but he looks like he could come back in if he wanted to, although I'm certain he won't.
Gonzalez, another big run, swept around the right side and picked up 11. So he's getting some quick stats. Remember, he's had over 100 yards rushing in his first 2 varsity games. Just a freshman, as you mentioned, the only freshman on the squad, on the varsity squad, and maybe heading toward another 100-yard night rushing.
Yeah, this has been much more Isaac Gonzalez's game than Isaiah Ronhell's, that's for certain.
Yep. Pass this time up the middle to Beltran. Beltran gets it, and he's going to be down at about the 2-yard line. Nice pass, pick up about 22 yards.
Yeah, and he was a pinball there as he bounced off a couple of different Weslaco defenders. They're going to show it again here on the scoreboard. And yeah, nice pass, put it right where he needed it, and then able to keep his feet where the Weslaco defenders weren't able to get him off of his until he had already made it down inside the 5-yard line.
All right. So we'll see if it's pass or run. This time the ball is run up near the goal line. Or actually, the quarterback keeps it. And it is a
touchdown.
Touchdown, all right, it's touchdown. We had to wait for a second. And it is a touchdown that time. They said the ball, I guess, was at the 1-yard line. And it was the quarterback keeper. And Ron Hell gets it.
Yeah.
Gets it from the 1. So Ron Hell, we know he can run the ball. I think that's his first touchdown rushing, believe it or not, of the season, if my stats are right. He's picked up a lot of yards.
But never made it into the end zone until right there.
Right.
Well, you see the young man, he knows what the position is, not celebrating, not going nuts after he makes it. He's happy he got his team a touchdown, but he knows that his team is still down 24 points with 7 minutes to play.
Extra point is good. So 45-21, 6:56 remaining. And again, enjoying everyone out here tonight. Talking about NFL, I was in New Orleans last week, and I guess one of the big surprises, not that the Saints scored 41 points or Drew Brees had over 400 yards passing, but that their rushing struggled. Of course, Mark Ingram on a 4-game suspension for substance abuse, and they only had Kamara. Kamara actually had about maybe, I don't know, 30, 40 yards rushing, but he actually had like 100 yards in receptions. He did score a couple touchdowns rushing. But the big thing was Fitzpatrick, Ryan Fitzpatrick. He's used to having like a ball control game, short dump-off passes, ball control, running the clock, minutes off the clock. He really threw some passes out there. And the Saints looked like they had no pass rush and no defensive backs. A lot of people think they're a Super Bowl contender, but they sure didn't show it that day, giving up over 500 yards at Tampa Bay. And remember, Jameis Winston is the top quarterback, and who knows if he'll get the job back. A 3-game suspension for violating the domestic abuse policy of the NFL. You think Fitzpatrick has taken the spot from Winston?
Well, hey, it's happened before, right?
Yeah.
What did they call it in New York when he took over the Jets and had that great 8-game run? They called it Fitzmagic.
Yeah, yeah.
And, you know, who's to say it can't happen again? Onside kick.
All right.
But I think that an onside kick, it's a timeout.
Okay.
Coach Salinas called a timeout before the kick.
That's smart coaching again. But again, you know, this one, and of course that makes this Saints game, and again, I cover a lot of the Saints games in my work. This makes this week's game even more interesting because Cleveland tied Pittsburgh 21-all. I know Roethlisberger got nicked up in that game. I'm not sure he's playing this week, maybe a game-time decision. But, you know, a lot of people thought the Saints would just, you know, whip through those first 2 games. They both were at home, Tampa Bay, and this week Cleveland. Cleveland could be a surprise team.
0-1, best start for Cleveland in 14 years.
Yeah. And you don't see many ties in the first week of the NFL season. I don't know when the last time that happened. Probably back in the 60s or something, I think I heard. So that was kind of interesting. And, again, a long season. Texans, what can you say? Tom Brady, 3 touchdown passes. I think, you know, he's one of the few guys that in his 40s, 41 years old, has thrown a touchdown pass. I think maybe 2 other guys, 41 or older, have thrown touchdown passes in NFL history. I think it's Warren Moon and George Blanda. So that's interesting.
Yeah, I just realized that is the last timeout for the Panthers in this game. So final 7 minutes will not go with any timeouts called by Weslaco, that's for certain.
By the way, Deshaun Watson didn't look that good. You know, he's come back from injury. Not such a good first week, even though it was only a 7-point loss, 27-20. Let's see if he can bounce back for the Texans this week against the Tennessee Titans. Again, another road game. All right, getting ready for the kick. Going to be onside again. Yes, it is. Who gets it at midfield? We'll have to wait and see.
PSJA North says they got it. We'll see. It did go 10 yards. Just over 10 yards, and PSJA North has it. Onside kick, despite the fact that Coach Salinas has got his hands on his hips because he said, look, guys, we knew they were doing the onside. That's why I called the timeout. Oh, he's upset. PSJA North, they weren't going to change just because of the timeout. They get it right over 10 yards and come up with it. That's a big turnover right there, but it's still a 24-point deficit that PSJA North has to make up in 7 minutes. So unless Frank Reich is out on the quarterbacking PSJA North, I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, that was an amazing Buffalo game years ago. All right. Let's see what
Don't know if you know, but he also had the biggest he's got the biggest comeback in NFL history and the biggest comeback in NCAA history.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah, whenever he was the quarterback for Maryland, the University of Maryland.
Yeah, all right. Jonathan Garza gets the pass. About 10-yard gain on that play, close to a first down, and it will be one. So you like to see the fact that the Raiders are not giving up.
No, you know, absolutely.
You talked about Coach Kaufman, his pedigree. You know, he's been around for a while. He's a quality coach, and you can see that how his team performs.
Absolutely. The players at McAllen Memorial all loved him. The players here at PSJA North all loved him. Nice screen.
Yes.
Blown up there.
And the screen is going to be a little short of the first down. Maybe no, at second effort. The pile is pushed. It's going to be close to a first down. Still maybe a little short.
And Jathan Edwards had him back almost at the line of, Jathan Gonzalez had him all the way back at the line of scrimmage, but able to bust loose.
Yeah. Isaac Gonzalez.
Yeah. The freshman having a real good game here.
Shows he can catch the pass.
Right there. Yeah, had him dead to rights. Let him go.
All right, so it is a first down. They say he got the necessary yardage with that second effort. It's 1st and 10, and this time a pass over on the left side is good. It's going to be good for about another first down and breakaway, and this could be a touchdown, but I think the receiver's down at about the 2-yard line. And that was a nice catch that time by Rolando Coronado and good second effort. Yak Yards after catch gets him down to the 2.
Yeah, breaking some tackles, and Coach Salinas is beside himself. He's really upset.
That was about a 20-yard gain, wasn't it?
Yeah, telling his defensive coordinator to get some guys in there who can tackle, because, you know, this guy, look, there's 2 guys on one on each of his legs, and yet somehow Coronado gets loose.
First and goal to go. This time it is at the 2-yard line, and it is going to be a 2-yard touchdown. We'll wait and see who had the ball.
Beltran.
Beltran, okay, so Beltran gets another touchdown. And Beltran rushes in, and so far he has 2 touchdowns rushing and 1 receiving.
You know, you hope that Coach Salinas doesn't miss those timeouts that he called.
Mm-hmm.
But it is still an 18-point lead with 5:54 remaining.
Midway through the 4th quarter.
Crazy, but all they have to do, and by the way.
2-point conversion, by the way. Beltran once again, and he is going to be short.
Stopped. Okay, so it's still 18 points. So that's still 3 scores, and it's still under 6 minutes. But I do notice that running along and warming up on the sidelines is Jacob Cavazos. He might have just wanted to remind Coach Salinas that he's there. I saw him pat Coach Salinas on the back. Jacob Cavazos did, but now he's heading back to the other side. It will still be, looks like, well, I don't know. I don't know. It might be Cavazos back in.
Well, we're going to run down some of the staff here. Some are not here tonight, but we want to give them all recognition. The K-West staff that makes this possible. Saw Carlos Robledo, the director, and Michael Gonzalez, the reporter. They do all times a post-game show. Won't do one tonight, I guess, because of the weather situation. They didn't want to set that up, but they'll be back doing that again soon, most of the season. Other people working, Marco Paliasos, instant replay. Also, Darlene Gracia, I should say, a graphic artist. And Joe Leal, he is the audio technician. We have Don Ramirez, a videographer. Val Zamora, a videographer. Vinny Barry, videographer. He does our sound checks, right, so that we sound good on the air. Gets everything set up for us. And Armadeus Baronis, videographer. Again, not everybody's here tonight, but we want to recognize the whole crew. And Amina Garcia, she is the K-West secretary. And, of course, the man that is kind of directing this tonight and putting it all together, Mike Palacios, our chief videographer. So he makes us all look good. And
another onside kick. Oh!
Who's got it this time?
Weslaco got it back.
All right.
Wow, that went 10 yards, and then the PSJA North defense knocked the you-know-what out of the Weslaco receiver, and the ball went bouncing back towards the PSJA end, but Weslaco able to come up with it. It's right here.
All
Boom.
Right.
Yeah, that's who is that? That's Jay Granados.
Yeah.
Who didn't come up with it right there, but Weslaco does end up with the ball.
We talked some pro. What do you think so far for the college football season?
Well, I think what I saw from Texas A&M and Clemson is very intriguing. Both those teams look to be very good this year. I'm surprised that Jimbo Fisher has the Aggies playing so well in the first couple of weeks of the season. But then again, I guess that's why they pay him $10 million.
Ball's at the 46-yard line. It is in the territory of the Raiders. They have it. And now?
Delay of game.
Delay of game, okay. Thought I heard that. Texas playing USC. Is Texas a contender or pretender?
Well, that's the thing, is that both of these coaches, Texas and USC, are on the hot seat. Whoever loses, neither one is up to par there. What makes me mad is Texas USC is on at the exact same time as TCU Ohio State.
Wow, that's over at an AT&T in Dallas.
Absolutely, wouldn't surprise me if TCU were to put an upset on the Buckeyes.
All right,
Peyton Kanab back in.
Peyton Kanab back in, and he is going to get the penalty yardage back. It's about 5.
Yeah, and Jacob Cavazos back in at quarterback as well. Coach Salinas regretting a little bit putting the youngsters in early, but my gosh, it was a 38, 37 point.
And do you think it's also a statement to the youngsters saying, you know, if you want playing time, you got to do well?
Absolutely.
Maybe he doesn't really think he's going to lose the game, but he doesn't want the sloppy play out there.
Yeah, and he doesn't want it to be close either. He likes watching this clock run down, that's for certain. But yeah, if you're going to get out there, if you want reps, you've got to produce, and you've got to execute.
6 on the last play, 2nd down and 9. This time a pass play, and it looks like it's Diego Martinez. Did he catch it in bounds? No, out of bounds.
No, definitely out of bounds. He was open.
Yep. Well, you can see the difference between the first and second team. You can see why they're starters.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely can. But Now you're facing a 3rd and 9 here that you haven't even had a minute go off the clock since you started this drive. That's the thing, is the clock hasn't been moving the way.
This has been a slow. This fourth quarter's almost been as long as the first 3 quarters.
Yes.
It was a fast-moving game to begin. Thank goodness the weather has stayed nice, so at least people enjoy it outside. We have a slot over on the right side. Peyton Knab in the backfield. He'll take it. He sweeps around the left side, but he has good lateral pursuit, and he is brought down by Seven Sanchez. Maybe no gain. Good lateral pursuit by Sanchez.
Not even gain. Loss of like 3 maybe there, and that's going to bring up 4th down. PSJ North is going to take a timeout. They've got 1 timeout left. Of course, Weslaco has no timeouts left as we're under 5 minutes to play here. And it's gotten interesting.
Yeah. Well,
like you said, PSJ North never quitting.
No, and obviously they're taking a timeout. They still feel they have a chance. At least they want the players to think they have a chance, and that's good coaching. We were talking about Coach Kaufman and the good job he's doing. And looking at the rankings, Alabama up there, are they still the class of the college football? Or are they the
until if you want to come at the king, you best not miss. So, and they're still the king of the mountain.
All right, LSU. And I saw their first 2 games. They beat Miami, incredible. Then I saw them last week. I was there. They played Southeastern Louisiana out of Hammond, Louisiana. A very bland game. I think LSU had 7 points in the second half. They won 31-0. They always had it in control, but just very vanilla. They got to play Auburn. Most people say Auburn will blow them off the field on the plains up at Auburn. But, LSU's a funny team. Everybody thought Miami might blow them out. So what do you think of that Auburn-LSU game, the CBS game this Saturday?
Well, I think it's a fantastic game, and I think that what nobody's taking into account is how much the players love Coach O at LSU. He's just so popular. The players love him. Interviewers might not be able to understand his answers to questions, but when he's rooting on his players, they know exactly what he means, and they love to play for him. I think that's been a big thing. A lot of people say, he's maybe the game's passed him by a little bit, but when you've got a coach who can make players run through brick walls for you, then you've got a good coach.
He always ends his press conferences, "Go Tigers," but I can't say it with his accent. As a matter of fact, a lot of people, and I think I said this in a previous broadcast, a lot of the Cajun folk down there in Louisiana said, "I'm glad we finally have a coach that talks right." But Coach O is a character, and he made some mistakes early in his career when he's head coach at Ole Miss. Then he had a chance at USC as an interim coach. He's made the most of his opportunities. All right, 1st down and 10 at the 12. Good punt. Now
almost intercepted.
And almost intercepted, like you said. And the ball goes to, I guess it's incomplete?
No, I think they're going to say it was complete. Okay. And I'm not sure. It didn't look like he got taken down.
Yeah, that's the weird thing. All right, here it goes. Let's watch the replay.
He had a knee. He put a knee down. Okay, that's what it was.
Okay, so a gain of about 7 on that play, and that was Israel Oliveras. Next play, also a complete pass down to the 30, and knocked out of bounds is Rolando Coronado. So he is going to have a nice pickup on that play. The ball was on the 19, and now it is going to be past the 30-yard line, so we'll give about 13 yards on the pass reception. 1st down and 10. Clock stop, 4:12 still remaining. Very high-scoring game.
Yeah, extremely high scoring, and I know Coach Salinas is telling his guys to tackle them inbounds. Clock is your friend. Still a 3-score game, but the way this PSJ North team is putting the ball in the air, it could go quickly.
3 wideouts right side. Ball goes that way, and it is going to go to about the 43-yard line. Pickup of about 12 on the far side of the field.
That's Oliveras again.
Oliveras.
And again getting out of bounds.
See, that's cool. They're working to the sidelines. I got to give credit now, to the opponents. Obviously, we broadcast for Weslaco, but there's some good coaching here to be able to keep that clock being stopped. Don't you agree?
Absolutely.
All right. So it is 1st down and 10, ball at the 42-yard lines, and a good lesson. A good lesson for Weslaco, seeing this. They may have to face it again this year.
Yeah.
A team that can do this. All right. We have trips on the left, slot on the right, empty backfield. Pass is going to go down the middle, and it's a complete pass down to the 40-yard line in the territory of Weslaco by Jonathan Garza. So the ball goes from the 42-yard line, and it is going to be down to about the other 42-yard line, so a pickup of 16 on that play.
Isaiah Renhell is impressing me right here. always making the right read, getting it to the guy who's just getting open at the right time.
Pass down the middle.
Oops, not there.
And not there. It's intercepted. It's intercepted, and it's going to be at the 35-yard line where the defender is brought down.
Carmen.
Axel gets his second interception of the season, got one in the first game.
That was a big one, and that's exactly what this defense was looking for. Get off the field, give it to your offense, let them run the ball a little bit, let them eat this clock up, and let's go back to Weslaco and see that Tanako glowing purple tonight as they light it up.
3:34 remaining. You got to think they'd want to keep it on the ground as much as possible.
Oh, absolutely.
Or little short passes, maybe. Anything to eat up clock.
Absolutely. But you want first downs, too.
Yeah,
you don't want to just give this ball up.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I was a little confused by the big long pass play on 2nd and 10 during their last drive.
All right, Cavazos has it, and he gets up to the 39-yard line, pick up a 4 on first down.
And the clock will roll. PSJ North with only one timeout remaining and having to go 3 scores. I'm a little more confident in quoting the great Dandy Don Meredith and saying, turn out the lights. The party's over.
2nd down and 7. Ball at the 38-yard line as we get to 3 minutes remaining. Wasn't he like the first starting quarterback of the Cowboys or something like that?
Second, actually.
Right.
The very first was Eddie LeBaron.
Yeah.
In 1960, the first starting quarterback.
I do remember that
Cowboys.
name. All right, next rush is going to go to about the 43-yard line. Still a couple yards short of the first down. Peyton Knob. So he gets about maybe 5 on that play.
And see, moving it and getting it down. Now you're 3rd and 2, that short yarded situation. You've already proven that you can get 3 yards of rush each time, so just do it again. This is what the offense needs to do at this point in the game.
Clock down to 2:25, 3rd down and 2. Ball on the 43-yard line in Weslaco territory. 3 wide receivers on the right side. And the ball will go to Knob, and he is going to get the first down.
Sure will.
Needed a couple, got about 3.
That is the way you eat the clock. No throwing the ball on 2nd and 10.
So ball's at about the 46-yard line, 1st and 10. And as Clay mentioned a moment ago, only 1 timeout left for the Raiders.
Got to give it to PSJ North for coming back strong in this second half.
And making them put the starters back in.
Yeah, absolutely. And Isaiah Rangel running that little West Coast offense, the little dink and dunk, looked really good. You have to wonder if it might not have worked against Weslaco in the first quarter, but certainly did work against them in the third. Of course, it helps, that helps PSJ North that Marco Noriega is over on the sidelines.
Payne Knob dumped at the line of scrimmage. So it'll be 2nd and long. A lot of scoring tonight. I'm not sure we're going to be able to recap all of it at the end of the game, but it was an amazing night, scoring-wise. I know Knob had a couple of touchdowns. He rushed for that right off the top of my head. All right.
Yeah, Knob with a couple. Jacob Cavazos with a couple of passes to Diego Martinez and another one to Jay Granados. That was the first half scoring.
All right, and now
there goes Peyton Knob.
Yeah, Peyton Knob
he
around
got
the right
through.
side, and he is going to be down near the 47-yard line in the territory of the Raiders.
And I don't believe Marcus Kaufman's even going to call that last time out.
No. And that was a gain of about 8, 3rd down and 2. Ball at the 48-yard line, clock running, under 30 seconds remaining. Arturo Beltran, good job tonight for PSJ North. Couple touchdowns rushing, a reception. Denna with a touchdown reception tonight. 47-yard field goal for Martinez. Those are some of the highlights.
I believe it's victory formation. Time to take a knee.
All right. And so that's going to be it. Final score is going to be 45-27. It's going to be the Weslaco Panthers over the PSJA Raiders. So Weslaco will go to 3-0. And it's going to be now 1-2 for the Raiders. All these games were non-district for both teams.
Yeah, PSJA North will start district next week when they travel to La Jolla to take on Juarez-Lincoln. Weslaco still with another non-district game.
Thursday, right?
Thursday at Harlingen South.
7 o'clock. Any final comments before we go?
Just you got to finish the game. That's what Coach Salinas is going to tell these guys. But otherwise, a fantastic game from the special teams, from the defense, from the offense. You want to get you guys healthy. Make sure Marco Noriega is healthy for next week. But this offense can run, they can pass, they can do it all, and the defense kept PSJA North off the scoreboard that first half, and that was the difference in this game.
And if I remember, in the first half, 3 turnovers were turned into scores by Weslaco.
And if you notice, Weslaco made no turnovers until the second half.
All right, so again, we enjoy Clay Williams, and we appreciate what he's done and helping us out. And we hope everybody's safe this weekend. We know a lot of rain's in the area. And I think you said you're going to build a moat around your house this weekend, right?
That's
so
right.
Everybody be careful. Try to stay as dry as you can, but just be careful. Don't go out on the roads unless you absolutely have to. All right, once again, a final score. And it was a big win tonight, and we appreciate everybody down here. And again, 45-27, the Weslaco Panthers over the PSJA North Raiders. We appreciate our KOS crew, did a great job. For Clay Williams, I'm Scott Harrison, saying you have a good night. This has been a KOS production.